Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Rebecca Wasson is suing her cousin, Lisa Mitros, for unpaid rent, hotel fees, and loss of rental income.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom. Yeah, that's case number 123 on the calendar, the matter of Wasson versus Mitros.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Miss Mitros, I'm going to start with you. Miss Wasson is your cousin, and you have a family. Tell me, you have a husband?
My husband passed away, Miss.
You have children?
No, Your Honor.
Who do you live with?
I live with a friend of mine.
A male friend or a female friend?
Male.
How long have you lived with this male friend?
4 years.
In your house?
His house.
Now, his house had a problem.
The house burnt down, Your Honor.
To the ground?
25% of the house was damaged.
Well, then it didn't burn down to the ground. 25% was damaged. And when did that happen?
That happened a week before Thanksgiving.
So mid-November.
A year ago.
2015. And the house was rented while they were repairing it. I assume he was going to have it repaired. Is that correct? And your cousin, Miss Wasson, has a summer home that she rents in the summertime. Have you ever rented her summer home?
I rented her home in the rear, yes, I did, but not for summer yearly rental when I was married.
The rear. And she offered you, because you were in a state of an emergency, to move on to that property, to the rear house or to the main house?
To the main house.
And you're renting the main house with your boyfriend?
Correct.
And you were paying her $1,000 a month rent?
That's correct.
And the idea was that this was an interim thing until the house was renovated from the fire.
Correct.
So far, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it came about that it was coming towards the summer in April, and your house was supposed to be finished by April. Your boyfriend's house was supposed to be finished.
No.
When was the boyfriend's house supposed to be finished?
Sometime by the summer. There was no date. There was no time when it was going to be done. You can't have a time.
Yes, you can.
It's inspection.
Of course you have a time. Contractor goes in, built houses, renovated rooms. They say this renovation is going to take 6 months. This renovation is going to take 8 months. So they started to do your renovation, I assume, in November or December.
They didn't start.
Well, they were delayed. Well, at some point, Miss Wasson said, listen, I have to start renting the house. I get $2,500 for the house. I read the complaint. I get $2,500 for the house for the summer. I rely on that for income. So the two of you got into it. You said, my house isn't ready, and I'm not ready to move out. And that was in April of 2016. So far, is that accurate? She told you that she wanted you out in April?
It's all false. It's all lies.
She never told you she wanted you either out or
Absolutely
to pay?
not.
Okay.
We discussed this in April. She said, no problem. It's not done. You can stay. You pay me the rent, you stay. But you have to be out by the end of May.
Okay.
And that's what transpired.
Okay.
That's not true.
Shh, just a second. In April, did you pay her rent?
Yes, I did.
How much?
$1,000.
Show me. No. Just stay right there. That's why I have Bird. I want to see April and May's rent. And what date did you leave in June?
May,
June
I didn't leave June. I left May 28th. It was my last day in that house.
Well, I have a check here for April, but I don't have one for May.
Yeah, you do.
No, a check for $1,500.
Yeah,
May
which
11th.
we paid her for
This-
May. Because
What?
she wanted $2,500. And I said, Rebecca, that is ridiculous. You do not rent this front house.
But
You
just a-
stay in it in the summertime. What are you talking about? And the rents don't start till June.
Your Honor, I never got any rent for...
She's a liar. She's a
Just a second.
thief.
Just a second. Who is Joseph?
That's my boyfriend who pays the rent. And
Shh, just
again,
a-
Your Honor, she is not even the
Listen,
homeowner.
listen.
She is not the homeowner. Check her stuff. She is nothing to that house. The owner of that home is Edgar. She is not married to him. She is Rebecca Wasson. She's on that deed as Rebecca. There's no such person.
Hey, now I want you to uncross your arms and listen to me carefully. This crap that you gave me is not evidence. You have a check made out to cash.
'Cause she
that-
wanted-
I'm talking. you have a check made out to cash that was cashed by your boyfriend.
Exactly.
You can make a check payable to cash, and she can cash it. You have a check made out to cash that's payable to your boyfriend. This check doesn't show who cashed it.
She wanted cash.
Okay.
And that's why she wanted cash.
Now, my question to you is, Miss Wasson.
Yes,
I got it. Listen to me.
Moved in November.
Okay, did she pay you rent in November?
Yes, she did.
Did she pay you rent in December?
Yes, she did.
January?
Yes.
February?
Yes.
March?
No.
That's not true, Your Honor.
That's not what you actually say here.
Thank you.
If you say anything again, I'm going to give her exactly what she wants and throw you out. Do you understand?
November, December, January, February, March.
March. She stopped paying you in April.
April, yes.
That's according to you. It's
Yes.
according to your complaint.
Yes.
Now, when did you move to evict her?
I moved to evict her the middle of March. Wasn't it the middle of March?
March 1st.
I sent her a
I
letter.
have it right here.
I sent her a letter that she was supposed to be out by April.
May I see the letter, please?
Yes.
You have a copy of the letter. It's your letter.
Your Honor, I was never sent a letter.
I'm not asking you any questions now. I started with you.
Yeah, can you
knows
help
what
me?
she's looking for.
She's my
Thank you.
property manager. Where's that?
Number for the notice to quit.
Yeah.
I just want to see a copy of the letter that you sent her telling her you wanted her
I actually
and
put-
her boyfriend out. You were giving them a
There it
30-day
is.
notice.
Sorry, Your Honor. Sorry.
Okay, so what you sent her was a letter saying that the police had been called to your house.
Yes.
Complaining about what was going on in their house.
Yes.
Disorderly conduct.
Yes.
Okay? The other part of it, I'm not interested that you had to stay at a hotel. I wouldn't know why you would want to stay with them to begin with if all this is going
Yeah,
on in the
I had to
house.
stay in a
I wouldn't know why you would want to do that anyway. When did you serve them with a notice to leave? Because you didn't. This is a notice that says to them,
I
you
have
have to stop bad behavior. And if you don't stop bad behavior, you have to leave the premises. Well, then there has to be a follow-up eviction. Now, you started an eviction process when?
I started the eviction process in probably, let's see, I realized she wasn't going to move out, so I started it in May.
May 5th.
And I was afraid, yeah, May 5th,
Okay.
2016.
May I see that, please? On what date do you claim they moved out?
The constable sent me a letter and said that I couldn't go back into the house until June 9th.
May I see that, please?
Yes.
Did you, in fact, go in on the 1st of June?
No, I went, I didn't go in until June 9th.
Okay. Okay. Anything?
Thing I wanted to say, excuse me. The one, when we did the eviction, you can do an eviction for one or two reasons.
What's your last name?
Francine Simon.
She is a nobody. She has nothing to do with this case. She was not there. She was not witness.
I don't want to hear you. Are you an alcoholic?
No, I'm not.
Are you a
That's
drug
for sure.
abuser?
No,
Are you
I'm
a drug
not.
abuser?
No,
Do you
I'm
take
not.
any medication?
No, I don't.
Then what I'm going to suggest is try to control yourself.
I own McNeely Property Management, and I am her property manager for the last 4 or 5 years. I was unaware that she allowed her cousin to move in with her because she occupied the house. But then when everything unraveled, she had a choice. She could sue her for, do an eviction for non-payment of rent or an eviction for a notice case, which is what we did. And the reason we did that was because the tenant in the back was complaining of all these things that were going on.
Listen to me. You can't tell me that. That's hearsay.
But
Thank you very much.
What I'm telling you is that's why we did the notice case instead of a notice to quit because of non-payment of rent. You can't.
I understand. Listen to me. I've been doing this now for 20 years. They had paid their rent. You couldn't sue them, evict them for non-payment of rent because they paid their rent through March. They did not pay April and May. According to my satisfaction, there's no proof that they paid April and May. The rent was $1,000.
No, April and May, They were not supposed to be there.
I
in
understand.
April.
Did you get renters, by the way?
No.
Did they come into the main house? Do you now have
No,
renters there?
I don't have renters there, either in the
good.
cottage or the front house.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. That's what you're owed for April and May. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm very upset because I lost over $6,000 on trying to be kind
Oh my God, what a joke.
to my cousin and letting her stay in my house.
I can't believe people lie like they do.
And all she did was totally rip me off.
And this is her reputation.
She totally took advantage of me.
Good riddance.
I'm never going to talk to her again.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Doms versus Fudge. Step forward.
Annalise Doms is suing her former roommate, 24-year-old Marquivas Fudge, for unpaid bills, damaged and stolen property, and the cost to change their locks.
Ms. Doms, the defendant was your roommate for a relatively short period of time, despite the fact that he had signed a one-year lease. And you wanted him out of the apartment because it is your claim that you weren't getting along and that he stole things from you, locks on the house, and you want him to be responsible to the tune of $3,441. Let's deal with the easy things first.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He took the gift boxes. The makeup was floating in dirty trash water. I have photos to prove that.
You have no photos that involve him.
You think he would take the package and pose for me for a photo to show me him stealing it?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Annalise Doms says former roommate Marquivas Fudge owes for bills, damaged and stolen property, and lock-changing fees.
When he left, he returned the keys to you.
Nope.
Is that true?
I did not return them to her. I returned them to the landlord, Fred.
Okay, so the landlord had the keys.
Yes, he does.
Okay, fine. That's easy enough to find out.
Well, the landlord called me on December 30th.
You can't tell me what the landlord said to you.
Well, they called to say that Mark had evacuated, and I came back to my place after Christmas, after being at my mom's, and his stuff was still in the living room. So I didn't know what to do with his stuff, and I was gonna hold it ransom for the bill money he owed me. But he let himself in on the January 2nd with the key. He let himself in. I was
You changed the locks. He had a year lease.
because he stole from me and I didn't feel safe. He threatened me on Facebook. He threatened me in text messages, and I didn't feel safe, and I had to get him out.
Well, there are procedures for that.
Yes,
madam.
I tried to evict him. I had my lawyer write a letter to my landlord to try to evict him because he violated the lease by storing urine in his room. So that letter got me nowhere because my landlord said, you know, if they both want to be evicted, I'll evict them both, but I'm not going to evict him over him storing urine in his room.
So there's some story. Now, all right, let's get to, you have no proof that he did not return the keys. And the
I just know he let-
And the reason you changed the locks was not because he didn't return the keys, because you would have changed the locks anyway.
Not under a normal circumstance if a roommate
No,
moves out.
I'm talking about under this circumstance.
Under this circumstance, with someone threatening me and stealing from me, yes, I would change the locks.
Well, then he's not responsible for that.
But he threatened me and, he threatened me and stole from me, and
Well,
if I
now
didn't
let's
change
get-
the locks, he
now
could come
let's
back
get-
in.
Now let's get to stealing from you. What did he steal from you, when, and what proof do you have that he stole from you?
He kept taking money from my wallet. No,
Oh, just a second. Did you ever see him take money from your wallet?
no, he just kept taking it.
That's not proof.
Well,
Did
no-
you take money from her wallet?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Okay, so he says he didn't take it. You say he took it, but you have no proof that he took it.
And I have the amount of money I was missing.
It doesn't matter.
And he stole money that friends and family sent me. My mom sent me cards in the mail with money, and he took the cards and the money.
All I need is, other than you making a statement that he did it, I need proof that he did it.
I had cards on my mantle with birthday money in them. He took all that.
Did you ever see him take the cards with the
No, he was
birthday?
pretty sneaky about it.
Okay, then we have no proof.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I called the cops because I knew he had it, and the cop, I can't tell you what the cop said because that's hearsay,
You're correct.
but the cop believed he had it,
You
and
can't say that either.
okay.
Do you understand?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Annalise Doms says former roommate Marquivas Fudge owes for bills, damaged and stolen property, and lock-changing fees.
Keep going.
Okay, well, let's see. December 5th, 2015, my witness, Dan, brought over a package of Dior makeup for me that cost $152, and we put it on the coffee table. We went out to see a movie, and in that time period, Mark Kevius came home, and when we got home, the Dior package was gone. And we asked him, where is it? And he said, I package, and scaled the wall, and he would want to take something light, he said. And so I called the cops, because I knew he had it. And the cop, I can't tell you what the cop said, because that's hearsay.
You're correct.
But the cop believed he had it, and...
You can't say that either.
Okay.
Do you understand? You can't say that either.
Okay,
I'm certain
but...
if you called the police on that day, did they search his room?
They did not.
Okay.
I guess they didn't have a
No,
warrant
don't tell
to.
me what you guess. Did they ask to search his room?
I'm not sure, because
You don't know that either. Okay. What's next?
Well, we found the Dior package destroyed in the trash. He put it in my back trash.
Just a second.
And it stayed there for months because we got a big snowstorm and they weren't taking out the trash, so he put it under lots
Listen
of
to
trash.
me. What you are doing is speculating. You found the Dior bag in the back of your house in the trash?
And he took the gift boxes,
Just
so
a second.
the makeup was ruined. I have photos to prove that.
I don't care. You have to connect the dots. You have to say, the trash where I found the items that were stolen were under his control. If I didn't see him, they were under his control. You have no connection to any theft. I mean, I read your papers. It didn't appear that you had any connection to any theft. It may well have been that the defendant stole property from you. It may well have been that he stole money. Same thing. It's all possible. But in a court, you have to have proof. You can't just come in and say, he took money out of my wallet and he stole birthday money out of cards. And I found a bag.
The Dior package was unwrapped. He took the gift boxes. The makeup was floating in dirty trash water. I have photos to prove that.
You have no photos that involve him. What do you have that involves him?
Do you think he would take the package and pose for me for a photo to show me him stealing it?
You need proof that someone is a thief, which is why they didn't arrest him. And which I can't, for the same reason, I can't find him guilty of theft.
I have the police reports.
Well, that I'll read.
The first two are incorrect. The last...
No, don't tell me any. Don't tell me. The police report speaks for itself. So if you're introducing it, it's coming in as a business record. And it's coming in and it speaks for itself.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by
Scientifically proven to improve joint comfort. Effective at a cellular level. Cosamin. For joint health, it's time to start believing again.
Attention railroad workers, if you've been diagnosed with cancer, it may be linked to your job and you may be entitled to compensation.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I've read the police reports. There's nothing, absolutely nothing in them.
Anything
else?
They incorrectly stated that I called because I was missing $20 from my wallet. I was missing $20 from my wallet many times living with Mark Kevius, but I didn't call about that.
Okay, you have no case against him for stealing your property. Neither the police nor I find any evidence that you have.
He stole my computer.
We're moving on. Go.
I have
Next.
the receipts from the computer that was
Next.
purchased.
I don't care what you have receipts for unless you have proof that he took it.
I came back from my mom's from Christmas, and it was not where it used to be in between the two bookcases where I kept it. He took it to sell for parts.
It's very possible. You have any proof of that?
Do you think he posed again for a picture?
Okay. We're done.
Stealing?
We're done. Case is dismissed. We're over.
All right, Judge, excuse me. Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A mechanic-client relationship in need of repair.
He never fixed it and he has a title, so what can I do with a car with no title?
Did you do any work on the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you did? Glad you kept on talking.
Judge Judy.
Bed bugs, and he didn't pay his part of the bed bug fee.
It wasn't my fault. The bed bugs were in the couch that she slept in all the time.
He's a thief. He's a dirty thief. He never showered. He stored urine in his room.
I'm a very lazy person, so.
He's disgusting. He's deplorable.
Bottles is right there because I just finished using them, so Why not?
He's a disgusting individual. I would never, ever want to see him again.
She's just saying all these things because she's trying to get money out of me.
He's a good liar, and he's a really good, you know, he can be really charming when he wants to be.
She's just being crazy.
Watch out for Markevius Tyree Fudge.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to be out of there. My mom's glad I'm out of there. Everybody's like, oh my God, this lady is crazy. We're happy you're out of there.
You bought a car with no title. Why?
Because he said he can get the title in my name for me.
A mechanic-client relationship in need of repair.
He never fixed it and he has a title, so what can I do with a car with no title?
But her story's running on fumes.
I have text messages telling him I'm on my way to get the car. I have the money and everything. He's avoided me for months.
Did you do any work on the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you did? Glad you kept on talking.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jamaica Miller is suing her former for car and the return of money she paid him to fix it.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, it's case number 142 on the calendar in the matter of Miller versus Walton.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Miller, it is your claim that Mr. Walton owes you some money for a car that he was supposed to fix. The case is a little bit fuzzy, so I'm going to try to recreate in my own mind what you're complaining about. Mr. Walton has a silly counterclaim that I'm going to deal with in due course. You have a son.
Yes.
Teenage son.
Yes.
How old?
17.
Some time ago, you bought him a car
Yes.
that was not running.
Yes.
So how long ago did you buy him this non-running automobile? On what date?
I want to say around October the 17th.
Who did you buy the car from?
A girl off of Facebook named Kiara.
What year car?
A 1999.
1999 what?
Oldsmobile Integra.
And it was listed as a non-running car.
Yes.
So if you paid more than a couple of $100s for this, you'd be crazy, right?
Right.
How much did you pay her for it?
I paid her $500 for it.
Okay, so you gave her $500. She gave you the car, and you towed the car.
Well, I didn't actually tow the car. I have a guy who tows for me.
Okay, and that was in October.
No, it was, yes, ma'am.
Does that sound familiar? Not October, November?
Yes.
So your son's birthday had passed
Yes.
by the time he towed it.
Yes.
Where were you living in October and November of 2015? In what city and state?
St. Peters, Missouri.
And when did you move from St. Peters, Missouri?
February 28th of 2016.
And where did you move to?
Houston, Texas.
Did your son move with you?
Yes.
So that you left in February without the car?
Yes.
Now, at some point, Mr. Walton says he got fed up with storing this car that he got running, and he drove the car. Did you drive it or tow it?
We towed the car
To
her father's house after.
Now, why did you tow the car?
Because it had no plates on it. It had no legal way that I could drive the car.
So she never registered the car?
No, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Why?
DeAndre had my title.
Why?
Because when I first bought the car from Kiara, the car lot that she bought the car from was out of business, so she didn't have any paperwork besides that title. And when we went to the DMV, they said she needed paperwork, like a bill of sale or something. I don't know. But I explained to DeAndre what was going on. I was telling him I may just give her the car back because
with no title.
I have a title. I just don't have.
How did you get a title?
She had the title, but not the paperwork that I guess the car dealer give you. I don't know, like a bill of sale or something. I'm not sure.
Where's the title now?
I gave it to DeAndre.
Why is my question.
Because he said he can get the title in my name for me.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. But it wasn't going to be in her name. It would have been in my shop name, which the title would have came back in my shop name. Because what I did was I actually did a mechanic lien and put a mechanic lien on the title to get a clean title to the car. The car wasn't registered to Kiara. It was registered to Richard.
I knew this case was fuzzy. I just knew the case was.
He was the last owner of the vehicle who registered the car.
So the person she gave $500 to was not the title holder of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you now have the title to the car?
Yes, ma'am.
With a mechanic's lien?
Yes, ma'am. That is actually in my shop name.
And it's parked in front of her grandfather's house?
No, it's parked in the backyard of her father's house.
How much money, Mr. Walton, did Miss Miller give you to fix the car?
Altogether, she never paid me any money. She gave me $40 for the part that she needed to put the belt back on the car.
Other than the $40 she gave you, did she give you any other money?
The money to do the mechanic lien on the car. The mechanic lien on the vehicle, so she paid me the amount of money that I needed to do the mechanic lien for the car.
I gave him $150 for the titling of the car.
So other than the $40 and $150 for the mechanics lien, you got no money from Miss Miller?
No, ma'am.
You have any proof that you gave him any money, Miss Miller? Do you have any proof that you
I gave him the money, the $190 altogether?
I don't care about the $190.
Oh, no, I didn't pay after the car was dropped off, no.
Well,
I only paid him the $190, the $150 for the title and the $40 for the part for the car. DeAndre never fixed the car.
Just a second. So it's at your father's house. Bring it to somebody else.
He never fixed it and he has a title, so what can I do with a car with no title?
You had a car with no title. You bought a car with no title.
I had a title to the car.
No, you didn't buy the car from anybody who had the right to sell it to you. The title was in somebody else's name, not Keandra.
The title was signed over to Keandra.
Listen, you want the car?
Yes,
Call
I
your
want
father and go get it. Do you get along with your father?
Yes, I get along with my
Great,
father, but he dropped off the car. There's nothing I can do with a car with no title.
Just a second. Your mechanics lien is for how much money?
You mean, what do you mean?
Well, a mechanics lien indicates that you've done work on the car, and she did not pay you for the car, and therefore you put a scam between the two of you to get a clean title.
No, it wasn't a scam between neither one of us to get
Well, then why
the
would you
title.
put a mechanics lien on it before you do any work on it?
Because that's the only way I'll be able to apply and get the title for the car.
That's what I said. It was, just a second. That's a scam. That's a scam. If the only way that you could get a clean title for the car is to put a mechanics lien on the car, and you were doing her a favor to put a mechanics lien on the car.
But he never said he was putting a mechanic lien. He said that he was titling it.
That's a scam. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So the car is in your name?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, do you have the title?
I have it, but I don't have it with me.
Well, you have to turn that over to her.
He don't have the title. I've been trying to get the title for months from him.
It took 2 months for the title to come back clean because it was an Illinois title, not a Missouri title. But it to come back as a clean title under my business name.
Fine, you have to get the title and give it
But
to her and sign it over
I have
to
him saying that he had the title and he wouldn't give it to me.
Listen, he's not giving you $1,200.
He didn't fix my car.
Understand something. He's not giving you $1,200.
Well, he can give me the title and the car back. That's fine, too.
Listen to me, Miss Miller. He's not bringing the car to Houston. The car is in your father's backyard. I'm directing that he turn the title over to you. He did.
Miss Judy.
I do have the title, Miss Judy.
Why didn't he give me the title then? Because I had the money. I have text messages telling him I'm on my way to get the car. I have the money and everything. He's avoided me for months.
Just a second. Did you do any work on the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you did?
Yes, ma'am.
How much work did you put? I'm glad you kept on talking.
Yes, ma'am.
How much work did you put in the car?
I put the new pulley that she paid for on the car. We put the belt on the car. Where the alternator sits, it was screws that were missing. That's why the belt kept popping off along with the pulley being broke.
You told her how much it was?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a second. Now we're getting to it. So how much did you tell her it was to fix the car?
I told her I was going to charge her $200 to fix the car.
When did you tell him you were on your way over with the money?
I've told him 2 different times. I told him once on the January 11, 2016. He gave me the runaround. So I texted him a couple more times. Then I told him again on February the 17th is when I showed up at his shop, his mom's house, and everything because he wasn't there.
With how much money?
With $120, which is what he told me I owe, and I have that.
Well, you paid him $190.
He said my remaining balance is $120, and I had that.
So that the mechanics lien on the car should be for $100.
The original agreement was for me doing the mechanic lien. It was $150 just for the mechanic lien. That had nothing to do with.
Just a minute. I'm not getting involved with the mechanics lien. The mechanics lien was a scam.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The mechanics lien was a scam to get a clean title.
He didn't say he was doing it.
Because otherwise you don't put a mechanics lien on the car. This was an agreement between the two of you because she couldn't register the car for some bizarre reason, and I don't even want to know why.
And later today.
When did you sell the car to Miss Edwards?
In the middle of February.
Why?
Because I was almost done. I had called.
If you tell the truth, you don't have to fumfa around and you won't look ridiculous.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jamaica Miller says former friend DeAndre Walton owes for the value of a car and the return of money she paid him to fix it. DeAndre is countersuing for storage fees and an unpaid bill.
Now, mechanics lien was a scam to get a clean title. Because
He didn't
otherwise,
say he was doing a
because otherwise you don't put a
Okay.
mechanics lien on the car. You put a mechanics lien on the car if you've done work and the person refuses to pay you. That was not the case. This was an agreement between the two of you because she couldn't register the car for some bizarre reason. What is what?
The title was signed in multiple places on the back of the title, so there was nowhere else for her to sign to even register the car.
Listen to me. I know that something isn't kosher, so that what I want you to do now is now you have a title to the car in your shop's name, a car that she purchased for $500.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? I don't care about the mechanics lien. That's a scam thing that I'm not dealing with. Your cost to fix the car was $200.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you want the car back, you have to pay him $200. Do you want the car back?
But why do I owe?
With the title signed over to you. That way, you've paid $500 for the car. You've paid him for fixing the car.
Ma'am, he didn't fix the car at all.
Listen
the car
to me.
was sitting on bricks and everything when I went by there.
Don't care.
So why do I have to pay for him to fix the car?
If you pay him the $200 that he spent towing back and forth, and he says he fixed those items, and I believe him, because I don't believe you're telling me the whole story, then tell your father you're coming to get the car. Do you want to pay him the $200?
He didn't fix my car. I'm not paying him.
The answer is no, you don't. Is that right?
Yes, I don't want to pay him for a car. He didn't
Now
pay
you're living
him in the
Texas.
$40.
This non-running vehicle that you paid $500 for is now in Missouri at your father's house. Maybe your father wants the car. He's going to get disgusted with the car in his
Okay,
backyard.
I'll pay the $200 for the title. That's fine.
Fine.
I just want the title.
She's going to pay you $200, and you're going to sign the title over to her.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I will prepare that order. She can take that order. As soon as you get the $200, she can take it to the Department of Motor Vehicles in Missouri.
He's been lying about that title forever. I don't think he ever had the title. He even claimed it on the insurance for his mechanical thing. He said that it was his.
That's my judgment. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I guess she mad because justice was served. I did the work. All I wanted was to get paid for what I fixed on the car. We're all good.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Edwards versus Campbell. Step forward.
20-year-old Shantia Edwards is suing her former friend, Jay Campbell, for the return of money she paid for a 2006 Chevy Impala.
Bird, while I'm asking these people some questions, would you look up the value of a 2006 Chevrolet Impala?
Got it.
Thank you. All right, Miss Edwards, this is your story. The defendant, and the agreement was you would pay him $2,200 for it.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you did, in fact, pay $2,200 to him. At that time, he was the boyfriend of a cousin of yours. And what he said was, according to you, he said he had another one payment to make on the car. And after he had made that one payment, he would give you the title, because then it would be a clear title without a lien on it from the lending institution. So far, we understand each other?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that what he told you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you paid him $2,200 for this 2006 Chevy Impala. And a couple of weeks later, you walked out of your door, and lo and behold, the car had been repossessed because he hadn't been making the payments. He was payments behind, and he didn't have one payment to make. He had many payments to make. So the car was repossessed. You lost your $2,200.
Yes, Your Honor.
The defendant says that was not your agreement. The defendant says your agreement was that the $2,200 was $2,200 as a down payment, and then you would make the remainder of the payments on the car, and after you made all the payments on the car, you would get the title. That's your defense.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when did you purchase the car, Mr. Campbell?
I purchased the car in October of...
Miss Edwards?
In the middle of February.
February, so couple of months later.
Right.
Why?
Because I was almost done. I had caught, well...
If you, listen to me. Mm-hmm. If you tell the truth, you don't have to fumfa around and you won't look ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He told me that he only had one more payment due on the car, and then...
Why, if he only had one more payment due on the car, would he not make that payment and sell the car for $6,000 instead of selling it to you for $2,000?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Shantia Edwards says former friend Jay Campbell owes for the return of money she paid for a car.
Okay, go ahead.
We met at Subway because she needed a ride home, and then she was like, I need a car. And I was telling her, like, since I'm almost done paying my car off, I want another car. And I explained to her that I had a few payments left on the car.
What's a few?
I told her I had 4 payments left on the car.
Okay.
Not 1, I said 4.
Okay, so 4. How much did you pay for the car, by the way?
I put $1,500 down on the car.
You what?
Put $1,500 down.
I didn't ask you what you put on the car. I said, how much was the total purchase price?
I don't remember offhand.
Well, let's think about it. I want you to tell me what the purchase price of the car was. It was a couple of months before you saw the car.
I believe like 10. I don't remember offhand.
I'll let you go figure it out, because I'm not going to sit here and play with you. If you remember, you told her that there were 4 payments left. You remember how much you paid for a car?
Right.
How much did you pay for the car in October?
It was 10 grand to pay it all off, altogether.
Okay. Now, Officer Byrd, what is the value, according to the infamous Kelly Blue Book, of the 2006 Chevy Impala?
$6,000.
Okay. So what you paid for the car back in October doesn't sound so actually crazy, because that doesn't include the financing, and you were financing it. So clearly you had a lot more payments to pay out than 4.
Right.
Because you just sort of let it slip that you put down $1,500 on the car. And what were your car payments?
My car payments were $240 a month.
$240. Okay. You had a lot more than 4 payments to make on the car. Anyway, Miss Edwards, how old are you?
20 years old, Your Honor.
20?
Yes.
Now, I'm sure you're a smart enough young lady to look at the Kelly Blue Book to see what the cost of a 2006 Impala was. You do use a computer?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you looked at it. You would go to buy it from another person, was a $6,000. Why would you think he was selling you a car for $2,200 that he could sell it to anybody else for $6,000?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So I think that you were just 2 scammers, both of you. And you got caught in the middle of the hustle. But you knew that the car was worth $6,000 and you were paying 1/3 of the cost.
Your Honor, I didn't know that. He told me that he only had one more payment due on the car, and then...
Why, if he only had one more payment due on the car, would he not make that payment and sell the car for $6,000 instead of selling it to you for $2,000?
I didn't know about the $6,000.
Well, then you want me to believe that you're a very, very foolish 20-year-old who would not look up before you parted with $2,200 whether or not you were getting value for your money. Okay, so they repossessed the car.
They took the car back, yes. And I told her, I said, we know what, we should just wait till after I'm done paying the car off and do it. But she also said that she needed the car because she had to get to work.
Believe that you wanted to pay the car off, and then you were going to sell it to her for how much?
I was going to sell it to her for the $2,200. Because I'm like, we were friends at the time, so that's why I was like, at first I was just going to wait.
You know what, folks? I can't help either one of you, mostly because I don't believe either one of you. I'm not going to get the legitimate story of what went on here. But I don't believe that anybody who uses a computer plunked down $2,200, believing that for another couple of $100 she would own at least a $6,000 car. Don't believe that happened. Don't believe you either. So, as a result of that, I'm dismissing your case. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's a dispute over your authority as parents, that you would practically insist that your daughter be charged with burglary and theft of the cat. It's insane!
Next Judge Judy.
He told me to give him $2,200, and I did. Then 3 weeks later, my car got repoed.
And I was just being a friend, and helping a friend out.
To get the title first.
I do feel bad.
I wish I never did it.
It is what it is. I mean,
She claimed to be a contractor.
How much money did you pay her in total?
About $25,000 stolen property of mine. I changed the locks. She climbs under the house, into the basement, upstairs, pummeled me, grabbed my laptop, and ran away.
And her defense gets lost in the shuffle.
Stop playing with the papers. There are more papers there than in the Supreme Court.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Deborah Smith is suing her former employer, Marshall Smith, for the return of her belongings and for damages from an illegal lockout.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 157 on the calendar, the matter of Smith versus Smith.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Smith, how did you meet the plaintiff?
The plaintiff was a friend of a friend. Approximately 3 years ago, my cat needed babysitting, so I initiated her. I re-met her again a year ago.
And when you say you initiated something a year ago, tell me what it was that you initiated.
I had purchased a 100-year-old house, and I was conversing with my friends, and she was present about the problems I was having with fixing the house up. I had hired an inspector, but he didn't do a good job. I needed plumbing, a roof, electrical. I was residing there, yes.
With all those things not being there, no foundation, no plumbing, nothing.
They were operational, but not totally functional.
Now we're going to get back how you came to her to help you with all these problems. Stop playing with the papers. There are more papers there than in the Supreme Court.
He's got a long history, Your Honor. Sorry.
This is going to be very short. Trust me.
I hired an agent to redo the roof, which I knew needed. She offered to do it. She said she was a contractor. She said
she offered to do the roof herself, or to?
That's what she offered, with a crew of hers.
With a crew?
Correct. But she doesn't have a contractor's license, and she's been on disability since 1992. And I gave her a small portion of the job to put in a solar tube light in the roof.
Did you hire her to do the roof job?
Yeah, I did pay her, yes.
How much?
About $25,000.
To act as a GC, general contractor, getting crews to do things in the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you acknowledge, Miss Smith, that you were paid to do some GC work, general contracting work in his house?
No, I was not, Your Honor.
You were never paid?
I reimbursed employees that
Don't try to double talk me. Were you ever paid by Mr. Smith for work that you or crews hired by you did on his
people? He said he needed people, and he wanted me to oversee the workers for work on his house. I did not employ him myself. He did.
Just a second. I got it. I got it. I got her. I got it. I got her. How much do you get from disability a month?
I don't get disability.
You don't get any kind of disability. Be very careful. You don't get any kind of disability.
I had disability. That's why I've met Mr. Smith.
Just a second. I asked you a question. What year did you start to collect disability?
I was injured at one time in 1992.
1992. In what year, which is even more interesting, did you stop collecting disability?
2015.
So, according to you, until shortly before you started to do work for him, you were collecting disability.
I did not work.
Now tell me why your disability benefits were cut off last year.
That has nothing to do with this case.
Oh, it has everything to do with this case. It has everything to do with your last answer. Because when I ask you, well, you paid money to GC, and you start dancing around because if you were paid $25,000 to GC a project, even though you paid other people, then you committed fraud on the federal government. They're going to come looking for you. It has everything to do with this case. You want to tell me why your disability was stopped? If it was.
I had nothing to do with.
You may be hustling for a long time, Miss Smith, but you don't hustle me. You don't hustle me. You don't answer my questions, your case is dismissed. Now, according to you, you let her stay in the house while she was doing some GC work on the house. She of course said in her now dismissed claim that she was a renter and you illegally evicted her and therefore she wants $5,000. That's what her case was about, that I just disposed of. Now we're going to get to your counterclaim. The counterclaim says that she proceeded to, after her keys were taken away, to engage in a course of conduct that was harassment. And at one point, she broke into your house and assaulted you. You want to tell me about it?
I allowed her to stay in the room as a guest. She lived 40 miles away. I was trying to help her. She had lack of assets. And and she disappeared for 3 weeks, and there was a foul order coming from the room.
When was this? Give me the month.
November.
Okay.
I entered the room. I found stolen property of mine, an old flight suit, camera lenses, dog tags, 7 pairs of scissors. It was a total mess. I decided at this point in time that she had been gone for 3 weeks with no communication. Perhaps it was time I changed the locks. She arrives home. She doesn't even try the locks. She climbs under the house where the foundation wasn't yet, into the basement, into the kitchen, upstairs.
Did you call the police?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a police report?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it.
I'll provide you with all the police.
No, don't give me everything. Just give me the first police report when she came in
Okay.
and came into the house. When was the last time you had any contact with her?
In court, approximately 3 weeks ago.
What court?
She had filed another motion to dismiss my protection order. She showed up late beyond the roll call and argued with the judge that she was there, and when she wasn't.
You filed the protective order. Was it finally granted?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long do you have the protective order for?
A year starting March of this year.
And that's to keep her away from your house?
And no contact me.
And no Would you put the papers down? Is there any reason whatsoever that you would want to have any contact whatsoever with Mr. Smith?
Yes, Your Honor. I filed a protection order against Mr. Smith in December of 2015.
Was it granted?
Yes, it was.
For how long?
For 30 days, and I came down
Just
with
a
ocular
second.
migraines and could not make the hearing.
I don't care. It was dismissed. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, just like his
Fine.
order, because it was default.
Just
I was not able to make it.
He has an order, which he has not. There's no question in my mind that he has not come near you.
Actually, I've got phone calls, Your Honor.
There's no question in my mind that he has not come near you. So why would... What part of put the papers down don't you get? You have no reason to look at papers. I've dismissed your claim. I'm merely addressing the countersuit.
Well, I have evidence for the countersuit, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes, I do.
I want you to tell me how you got into the house in November when you found that the locks were changed.
I was not informed the locks were changed, Your Honor. I have...
I want you to tell me how you got into the house in November when the locks were changed.
That day earlier, the day before, when I was driving there, or actually from 3 days before, Mr. Smith was locked out of the house. He called and he wanted me to come home because he wanted me to let him in the house because he had lost his key.
Yes.
And then he had told me that he had crawled under the house. Well, when I came back in town, I was only gone for 3 days, and I have text messages and his employees that worked under me. Matter of fact, the day before, he had taken my purse. Mr. Stevens had my purse and had sent it over to Marshall's house, which was my house, because I'd left it in Cooley Dam with him, and he had sent it.
Mr. Smith, when was the last contact you had with her?
Approximately 3 weeks ago.
And that was
at the hearing.
Okay, so this is really what you have to do. You have to tell your lawyer that at some point, your lawyer has to move before the court not to allow her, without a judge okaying it first, to file a petition against you, to reinstate her protective order, to vitiate your protective order. Sometimes when people file serial orders and there's something wrong with them, judges will do that. They will say, before a clerk can file anything, it needs a judge's counter-signature. Do you understand? What does that mean?
I would like to make one short comment.
Yes.
The judge at the last hearing stated she's a vexed litigant.
I mean, those are nice words. If they were said, that doesn't mean an order.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
By a judge that says, before you may file another proceeding against Marshall Smith, you must get judicial approval to do that, which means the judge has to look at the allegations, look at the history of the case, and say, not again on my watch. Do you understand? Your counterclaim is dismissed. You have an attorney. Your claim is for sure dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Doesn't have a contractor's license. She's been on disability since 19. She stole $20,000 to $25,000 away from me.
5 inches, 6 inches of anti-harassment suits that were filed against him.
I think she wanted more money.
I had pictures of 1.5-inch watermelons. He wrote, "I love you" on them.
No, I did not.
He's a harasser and a stalker.
I don't see myself in jail.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of McMurthy versus Sadeghi. Step forward.
Pedestrian Matthew McMurtry is suing motorist Hamid David Sadeghi for damages resulting from an accident in a parking garage.
Mr. McMurthy, it is your claim that the defendant hit you with his car.
Yes, ma'am.
You were not seriously injured, but you want him to pay your doctor's bills and a couple of $100s for what you claim is lost wages.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think Mr. Sadeghi denies that something happened on a particular day between you and his car. Not sure whether he acknowledges that his car hit you in the back of your leg.
Yes, ma'am.
But he said that you darted out using a shortcut and he didn't see you. So this happened in an elevated parking garage?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this the first level, second level, third level?
The first level.
Okay, how many levels are there in the parking structure?
6, I believe.
Had you just parked your car?
I had just parked my car.
Show me where your car was parked.
This.
Show me where you parked
This
your
is
car.
my
That's
car.
you.
This is my
okay,
car
and
right
then
here.
you got out of your car.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were walking?
I walked up here. He was coming down from the 3rd level, and he clipped me in the back of my left leg.
Okay, right after the turn.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you stopped your car?
Yes.
Okay, and got out?
Absolutely.
Go.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why wouldn't you turn this over to your insurance?
Because I didn't see any problem with his legs. And I could not possibly hit him on the right. Only way I could have hit him would have been on the left.
That's for your insurance to figure out.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Pedestrian Matthew McMurtry says motorist Hamid David Sadeghi hit him while he was walking in a parking garage.
Did you have a discussion with the plaintiff?
Absolutely.
Was he standing or was he on the ground?
Standing up.
Were there any visible marks on your leg?
The back of my left calf was red.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Because I don't think I hit him on the back of his calf.
Where did you think you hit him?
I don't know if I hit him at all, because what I heard is a bang on my car,
well,
and I stopped.
that's why you stopped.
Yes.
He says that you hit him. That's what it
Yes.
was.
Yes. It wasn't at the 1st floor, Your Honor. It was on the 3rd floor.
Just a second. Whatever it is, it's your fault. That's not. You're coming around the turn. He's a pedestrian. You're supposed to go slowly enough so you can stop your car and not hit him. Period.
If I hit him.
You hit him. The question is, did you injure him?
Okay.
Because we have lawsuits where there are injuries and we have lawsuits where there aren't injuries. So I'm going to end your pain right now. You are responsible for hitting him with your car. The next question is, what are your reasonable damages? So now I'm going to ask you some questions. This happened in the morning.
It happened at 6 p.m.
Why were you parking in the parking space at 6 o'clock? Where were you going?
I work at the Raleigh Times Bar, and we're open till 2 a.m., and I was working a night shift.
Did you go to work that night?
For an hour.
Just a second. Did
Yes.
you go to work that
Yes,
night?
I did.
The answer is yes. Did you stay for your full shift?
No, ma'am.
What time did you leave?
7 p.m.
Where did you go?
My girlfriend picked me up from work. She took me. We grabbed food on the way to the hospital because I hadn't eaten that night.
Do you have the hospital report?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it. Thank you. Sprain of left knee pain.
And there was an abrasion on the back of my left leg, which I have a picture of that for the following. This is the following day, and that's the day after that.
Okay, so you were fortunate. There was no fracture or dislocation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is the next thing that you did? After you went to the hospital, they told you, they examined you?
We just went home. The next day, I called David's work, trying to get in touch with him, and he wasn't there, so I called the following day. Got a hold of him, told him that I ended up going to the hospital that night, and that I needed his car insurance information so that I could file a claim. And he became defensive and said that he didn't want to give it to me until he saw my medical bills in person. So I agreed to show them to him.
On what date did this happen?
February 17th.
Of this year?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. What kind of car were you driving?
A BMW 650.
What year?
2007.
Did you have insurance?
Yes, I do.
He does not.
Did you have insurance?
I have insurance. I always have insurance on my cars.
Then why wouldn't you turn this over to your insurance?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did you see a dead cat? Did you see a dead dog? The reason you stopped your car is because you
No,
heard.
because he hit my car with his hand. I have a video.
You have a video of the
ma'am.
event?
I would love
I'd like
for you to
see.
take a look at that.
Oh, I'd like to see it.
Judy. Pedestrian Matthew McMurtry says motorist Hamid David Sadeghi hit him while he was walking in a parking garage.
Now, why wouldn't you turn this over to your insurance?
Because at the time that this happened, Your Honor, I asked him if he wants to go to the hospital. I didn't see any problem with his legs. And the story that is shown in the picture, I could not possibly hit him on the right. I have the video that shows that the only way I could have hit him would have been on the left. It was all totally on the blind side, where he's parking his car, that he's identifying and walking across.
That's for your insurance to figure out.
Your Honor, I wasn't going to...
Just a second. That's for your insurance to figure out.
Your Honor, I wasn't going to give a person that I didn't know my insurance information. I asked him if he wants to go to the hospital and file a report.
Okay.
He said he's
Let
fine.
me explain something to you, sir. That's why you have insurance. So
Yes,
the
I
next
do.
thing that you're going to do for me is get me proof that on February 17th of this year, you had insurance.
Absolutely.
And with what company? I'd like to see it, please. This is from Geico, and your car was, in fact, insured. Well, then I think you made a big mistake, sir, that you did his medical bills and for his lost wages.
Judge, if I hit him, then I would.
Yes. Well, even you said you hit him, sir. Did you see a dead cat? Did you see a dead dog? Did you see a log? The reason you stopped your car is because you
No,
heard...
because he hit my car with his hand. Judge, you got to give me an opportunity to show you that that whole drawing is wrong as well. I have a video.
You have a video of
Yeah,
the
ma'am.
event?
I would love
I'd like
for you
see.
to take a look at that.
Oh, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, and I think there's a video that I can get from the parking garage that you can as well look. If you wouldn't mind, of course you hit the play, and then you can see that the way he has shown this drawing, Your Honor, is incorrect. Why would someone...
Just a second. Don't ask me a question.
Okay.
You recreated this, so you're showing me the inside of the parking garage.
Correct, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Good.
Okay. Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Mr. McMurtry, did you ever contact a lawyer?
I did.
Tell me when.
His information, and he threatened to get a lawyer.
Who threatened?
I have emails here. Once
May I
I
see them?
received my medical bills, I contacted David through email.
Okay, I'd like to see them. Okay, and now I'll see your hospital bills.
Sure.
And so you contacted the attorney after the refusal to pay the medical bills?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. How much were the medical bills?
$1,975.19.
And in addition to that, you're suing for $200 for lost wages. I assume that those were the lost wages from the night that you didn't work?
Yeah, it's actually $125. It's roughly an estimate of what I would make on a Wednesday because I make tips, plus my hourly wage. $125 is about in the middle of what I would make on a Wednesday.
Should have turned it over to your insurance company, sir. They would have sorted it out, and it wouldn't have cost you $2,100. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's okay. I still say I didn't hit the kid.
Yes, you can't always give a stranger a benefit of the doubt.
I asked him for every information. He provided me zero information.
He was mid-turn, his tire.
Zero pictures. You can't have all these scratches on someone's.
It wasn't a bumper, it was his tire.
And not see it as soon as it happens. But it's all good.
Just do the right thing. Everything's fine.
You've tried to maintain somewhat of a civilized relationship with each other.
The good times for these parents were over.
I started reaching through the back window to try to get my tablet. She rolled up the window on me and started bagging back with me hanging out the window.
This is all happening in front of the 3-year-old.
Then the fight turned even more explosive.
He put his arm in my car and tried to take the keys out the ignition. He pulled my gas tank back and tried to put a lit cigarette in there.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
23-year-old Jeloni Thompson is suing her daughter's father, 25-year-old Carl McCaskill, for vandalizing her car.
Order. All rise. That's case number 165 on the calendar, the matter of Thompson versus McCaskill.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Ms. Thompson, you and Mr. McCaskill were a couple, and you have a 3-year-old. An answer that you filed that you've tried to maintain somewhat of a civilized relationship with each other, or even going to certain functions together with your daughter. This case is about an incident that occurred at one of those events.
Yes, ma'am.
Where it is your claim that Mr. McCaskill vandalized your car during an argument.
Yes.
His story is quite different. I'm sure he will relate the story to me as he sees it through his lens. When did you two stop living together?
We were never living together. We would just co-parent. We would just sleep over each other's houses, but we wouldn't live together.
When was the last time that happened?
A while ago. It was months ago.
Give me a month. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Give me a month. That the last time either you stayed over at his house or he stayed over at your house in a co-parenting event. You want to tell me, Mr. McCaskill? She doesn't remember. You want to tell me?
I think it was around April.
April. How do you remember it was April?
My birthday.
So after April, you did not have any co-parenting sleepovers?
No.
But you saw each other on your birthday. That's very interesting. To me, Mr. McCaskill, that's a very interesting thing, that you would select to have a sleepover with Miss Thompson on your birthday if you're no longer together.
I'm not saying we slept the last time we slept with each other yet.
On your birthday?
Yeah, around my birthday, not exactly my birthday.
I didn't see it.
Okay. You have a little girl, is that right, Mr. McCaskill?
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to tell me when the last time you saw her.
The day of the incident.
What was that date?
Memorial Day, I believe.
Why don't you tell me your version of what happened?
Well, we had the little picnic, party at the park for Memorial Day barbecue. And
who went?
Me, Jelani, my daughter, my mom, her brother, my family. Had a nice little barbecue. When it was time to go, she rode with her brother, I drove her car, and I had my daughter. And my daughter rode together, her and her brother rode together.
Okay, so you were driving her car, and your daughter was in the car that you were driving?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you finished the barbecue, where were you going?
We headed back to my house.
And was she going to follow you?
She didn't follow me, but she knew where we were going, because we did the picnic in St. Louis. I stay in Illinois.
What was the plan after the picnic if you were going back to your house with your daughter?
Really wasn't no plan I was going to get. We alternate weeks. I keep my daughter for a week, she have her for a week.
So you were going to keep her for the week?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then why were you driving her car?
She was coming back. Her and her brother, they rode
Because the barbecue...
Shh. Yeah. I just drove her car because I guess she didn't want to ride with me. I drove her over there. Me, her, and my daughter rode together over there, but her brother came later on during the party, and she rode back with him.
So you all came together to...
I believe it was my house.
So all three of you were in your house on Memorial Day?
Yes, ma'am.
And what time had Miss Thompson gotten to your house on that date, on Memorial Day? Or was she there the night before?
No, she got there I want to say...
Don't look over there, over here.
I'm sorry. I want to say it was like an hour or two before we went out to the Memorial Day barbecue.
Okay, so she came to pick you up?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a car?
No, ma'am.
And was it the intention that you keep your daughter that week and her car?
No, ma'am. I don't keep her car. No.
Just her? Just your daughter?
My daughter.
Okay. Pick it up from there.
Okay, so we had the barbecue.
You had the barbecue. You were going home. Now you're at your house. The daughter is in your car. She's driving. You're meeting up at your house with her brother.
Yeah. When they pulled up, I had my daughter was still sitting in. Hadn't nobody else made it back to my house yet. So me and my daughter were sitting in her car, and I had my daughter watching TV on my little tablet. When they pulled up, she said I had an attitude about something like, she came to me with an attitude. That's how the whole situation started. We argued a little bit. Like I said, it was my turn to get my daughter. Well, she didn't bring my daughter, like, the diapers, the clothes and stuff. None of that was there. You know what I'm saying? So I asked her, could she go get it? She didn't want to.
Okay, so she didn't bring it to your house at all?
No.
You mean clothes?
Clothes, diapers, all that. And that was my issue. I was like, well, I don't have none of this here, so I can't keep her tonight. Either you can go home and get it, or you can just bring her tomorrow with the stuff. I guess she didn't want to take my daughter back with her. Like, because it was my week, I guess she thought I was trying to push my daughter off on her for the week. Not the case at all. Never have a problem. I kept my daughter anyway that night, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we argued. I put my daughter back in the car because, like I said, I didn't have the supplies for her.
Just a minute. So you were taking your daughter out of the car?
Yeah, when they pulled up, I was taking my daughter. I didn't know we were gonna argue. I thought we were gonna go in the house, you know what I'm saying? Everybody have a little good time.
So you took your daughter out of the car and you were holding her in your arms.
Yeah.
And then you had this discussion about where's her clothes?
Yeah.
And she said, I don't have the clothes. So then you said you put your daughter back in her car.
Yes.
Well, that was the suggestion then that she was going to be going home with her mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then what happened?
That transferred into a whole little problem because, like I said, she thought I was trying to push her off on her or something. We arguing while my daughter's in the car. I noticed that I had left my tablet in the back seat that my daughter was watching. That's when I tried to go back around to the door to get my tablet. She locked the doors. The back windows were down from where I was driving. I started reaching through the back window to try to get my tablet. She rolled up the window on me and started bagging back with me hanging out the window. Got out, she stopped, I got out, never got my tablet.
And meanwhile, this is all happening in front of the 3-year-old.
Yes.
Did you ever get your tablet?
I wound up getting it either the next day or the day after that because I told her I called the police on her.
Okay, so she drove off with the tablet. Go.
Okay, so his family invited us to a barbecue.
We're past the barbecue.
So before we even left to the barbecue, the reason why he drove our daughter home, because he had an attitude. I don't know why he had an attitude, but you can just sense he did. So that's why I rode with my brother back to his house, to his mother's house, to continue the barbecue because the food wasn't done yet. Because we got kicked out the park because the park closed at 10. So we get to his house. Me and my brother pulled up first. So they pulled up, and we all got out the car. He came back up front, and I asked, my daughter was asking for juice. And I said, she was asking, do they have any juice in the house? And he ignored me. I asked him again, and he said, no, we don't. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll leave the baby with you. I'll go up to this grocery store real quick, get her some juice so she can have some for her food. He was sitting there on the porch smoking a cigarette, and literally out of nowhere, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm like, okay. Like, he just started going off, started calling me out of my name.
I'm not doing what anymore?
I don't know.
Okay.
He literally out the blue, he was sitting there smoking his cigarette. You can tell on his face he was thinking about something. So, like I said, he just out of nowhere said, I can't do this anymore, and started going off. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went to my car. I'm in my car, I'm trying to pull off. He put his arm in my car and tried to take the keys out the ignition. So in the event of doing that,
Did he say my iPad is in the car or my tablet?
No, he didn't say.
Just a second.
Okay.
Was it?
It was.
It was.
It was. It was late. It was about 10, 11 o'clock when this happened.
Okay.
So I didn't see the tablet. So I guess he left the tablet in my car when he was driving. I didn't take it from him. But he was trying to take the keys out my ignition, and he's sitting there just yelling at me saying, and just calling me out of my name. So when he was doing all that, he locked the steering wheel. So my brother was trying to tell him to move so he can fix the steering wheel so I can leave. So in the event of him trying to, I'm trying to get out, he keeps closing the thing like this to keeps closing the door so I can't get out the car. And my brother's telling him to move. He wouldn't move. So finally, he went in the house. My brother fixed the steering wheel. And it was just in neutral. So he fixed the steering wheel. So I'm leaving. The baby, she's crying to stay with her dad. So I'm like, okay, you can stay with your dad. So I gave him the diaper bag. No, I didn't have clothes in there, but I don't feel like I should take care of my house and his house. It's your daughter. Get your clothes for her house. So I gave him the diaper bag with a couple of diapers and some wipes in there. I gave him that. And I sent the baby to her uncle to give to him so I can leave. He came outside. He pulled my gas tank back and tried to put a lit cigarette in there. And so luckily I backed up fast enough for him to he jumped off and I drove away. And so he called me a couple times. I didn't answer the phone. And he called my brother. Well, my brother was still there, yelling and going off, stuff like that. And my brother asked me, what do you want me to do with the baby? I'm like, it's his week. Just leave her there. He's with her dad. She's safe. And just come home.
So can you tell me why we're here?
He damaged my car and I want him to fix it.
Well, what did he damage on your car?
The gas tank. He scratched the paint on it. And at one point in time, I wasn't even able to bend the tank, put the gas cap back on my car.
But now you can. So show me a picture of the scratched gas tank. Do you work, Mr. McCaskill?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I build freezers. Well, the freezers be outside of gas stations.
And you, Miss Thompson?
I work in retail.
Do you have, other than having this co-parenting arrangement, do you have an arrangement for child support?
No, we do not. I'm currently working on that and trying to get a custody agreement for the two of us.
Well, there are a lot of chips on this car. I suggest, Mr. McCaskill, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go into an auto body shop, and you buy a little thing of white touch-up paint. When you finish touching up these little scratch on the gas tank, you touch up the other scratch that's below it, the other scratch that's below it in this. What I don't understand is, you both look like really nice people, so there must be something nice about the way you still feel about each other. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gone to the barbecue, you wouldn't have taken the baby. You clearly, Miss Thompson, is smart enough to know that if he has custody every other week, you can have a life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I used to say that all the time. Why are you fighting him? He's a nice enough guy. You know, you made a child with him. He's interested. He wants to be part of the baby that he made. And it gives you an opportunity to have a life.
Like, the only reason why we came up with that is because he wasn't taking her at all. So how that started was I dropped her off one day and left. That's how that started.
Well, that's not so smart, you see.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
How much were the sneakers that you bought?
$190.
Did you pay for his sneakers with a credit card?
Yes.
Are those the sneakers?
Yes, they are.
Could I see them? Don't get any closer. That's fine.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jeloni Thompson says her daughter's father, Carl McCaskill, vandalized her car during an argument.
Now, that's not so smart. You don't want to leave a baby
with her dad
to keep her. That's what I'm suggesting to you. You can't force somebody to be a parent if they don't want to be a parent. I would rethink that. You're absolutely entitled to a life of your own. But if Mr. McCaskill is immature enough so that he feels as if this is somehow some kind of a burden for him, as he said, you were trying to push her off on me for the week, then I would make certain that a court gets involved in seeing how much and when your daughter spends time with each of her parents. Anyway, I don't see any major damage to the car.
But
I'm awarding you $50. Go buy some white paint. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
That's my daughter's mom, you know what I'm saying? Especially with my daughter in the car.
Don't want to talk.
I didn't try to blow her. I wouldn't hurt her at all.
Don't want to talk.
And I hope we can get back to the agreement. Like I said, I haven't seen my daughter in like a month now.
Don't want to talk.
I love my daughter. She tried to make it seem like I don't want her. I love my baby.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Demisar versus Davison. Step forward.
18-year-old Katie Demersar is suing her ex-boyfriend, 19-year-old Malik Davison, for an unpaid loan for Jordan tennis shoes, gas money, and for stealing items from her car.
Ms. Demisar, the long and short of your case is you claim you loaned the defendant, bought him a pair of very expensive sneakers, and you want him to pay you back. Mr. Davidson said that they were a gift, your idea, you were trying to show off because you liked him. Are those the sneakers?
Yes, they are.
Could I see them? Don't get any closer. That's fine. Okay, step back. What do you do for a living, Mr. Davison?
I do landscaping.
Full-time?
Part-time.
What do you do with the other time?
I focus on my football stuff. I play football, so...
For pleasure?
Yeah.
How old are you?
19.
You live at home?
Yes.
So your bills are paid for by your family?
Yes.
And the landscaping business you do all year?
Yes, I do it with my uncle.
So he pays you in cash?
Yes.
How much does he pay in cash?
It depends on what type of hours that I do.
Give me an example on a good week.
Okay, so a good week, for 2 days, I'll make like $204 just for 2 days. But through the whole week, I'll make like...
Not like. Eliminate like.
I'll make like $650.
And how many weeks do you work full-time?
About 3.
A year?
Oh, no. About 7 to 8.
I mean, you don't look like a bad person. You look like a nice person. You know, you make a couple of dollars. You probably don't pay any taxes on this money that your uncle gives you,
right.
Which is all very, very... Okay. What do you do for a living?
I work at Panera.
Full-time?
Part-time. I'm going to school to be a nurse.
You live at home?
Yes.
So you have the same arrangement with your parents?
Yes, I do move out next month.
To where?
I'm going to school in Winona State.
So you're going to be going to school full-time?
Yes.
Did you pay for his sneakers with a credit card?
Yes.
Whose credit card was it?
Mine.
Do you have a credit card?
Yes, I do.
Did you have your credit card with you when you went shopping for sneakers?
No, I didn't.
Why?
Because I had left my wallet.
Left your wallet where?
Home.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Oh, so you've been doing landscaping business since June in Rochester. It's the
Yeah.
only time you can do anything outdoors in Rochester. This would be the time. You're not doing landscaping in February in Rochester.
Right.
So why didn't you pay her back for the sneakers?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Katie Demersar says ex-boyfriend Malik Davison owes for Jordan tennis shoes, gas money, and stealing items from her car.
Now, why would you leave your wallet home?
Because I was rushing out the door.
Okay, good. And how long, Mr. Davidson, did you know the plaintiff before you went shopping for sneakers with her?
I know weeks.
Were you dating?
We was talking. We was like into the commits of being together.
Now, why don't you tell me what happened when you went to the sneaker store?
Okay, so these sneakers came out and
What do you mean they came out, they danced out by themselves?
No, no, they was released on a date that everybody wanted to get them. So
just a second. She didn't wear sneakers. Say they were released on the date that you wanted to get them.
yes,
Okay, so you went running to the store because you had to see these.
yes.
No.
I had to see these sneakers. And it was the last pair that was in Rochester. So,
The last pair
yes.
in all of Rochester.
Yes, size 11. And I said, I really want these sneakers. And, you know, she like, well, I'll get them for you as long as you pay me back. So I said, I don't really feel comfortable with that. I probably don't have the money to pay you back. And she was like, well, it's okay, you know, when you get the money, just pay me back. And I was like a little iffy about it, like if I should say yes or no.
But you really wanted the sneakers.
Yes, I really wanted the sneakers.
So you took them.
Yes, not took them, she paid for them.
She paid for them.
Yes.
And that was on what date?
It was June.
In June.
Yes.
Oh, so you've been doing landscaping business up the yin-yang since June in Rochester. It's the
Yeah.
only time you can do anything outdoors in Rochester. June, July. Yeah, so you're working. It would be the time. You're not doing landscaping in February in Rochester.
Right.
So why didn't you pay her back for the sneakers?
Because it was a gift.
No, didn't you hear what you just told me, Mr. Davidson?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. You just told me it wasn't a gift. You said, I'll pay you back when I have the money.
No, I said I was iffy about it.
I said you were iffy about it. What you said? You want me to play the tape back to you? That's exactly what you said to me. She said, I'll buy them for you if you'll pay me back the money. And you said, I don't know if I want to do it, but it's the last pair in the whole city of Rochester. And I really want them, but I don't have the money now. It's all right. I'll get them for you anyway. You pay me back when you can. And I was sort of iffy. But bottom line is, you're wearing the sneakers.
Right.
$190. Now, what else do you think he owes you for?
He also owes me for the gas he used when I had to give him rides everywhere.
Forget it. What else? Don't waste my time.
He stole my swimsuit, my sweatshirt, my Victoria's Secret sweatshirt out of my car. He stole food out of my car because I'm constantly working, so I have a
Judgment for the
stack of
plaintiff
food.
in the amount of $190. We're done. Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It wasn't true what he said, that I just gave him the shoes.
She said she was going to pay for the shoes. She paid for the shoes.
We made an agreement that he would pay me back on Friday.
You see what she did? You know, she came on and say, I did this, I was going to give her that, but really I didn't.
He lied to me about his name.
Because I didn't want to talk to her anymore.
He lied saying he was going to Winona State with me. That's why we connected.
Oh, apparently that's what it is, you know.
Didn't even graduate high school yet.
That's just to let you know you can't trust any female.
I won't deal with losers.
Your daughter was dysfunctional for 2 years.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Married to an admitted drug user.
Out of 2 years of marriage, we never lived together.
You never lived together.
Never.
And his life on the road.
You are a truck driver.
Yes, ma'am.
Gave her a lot of free time.
She would be at different people's houses. She would not come to my home. She would never come. She went from place to place doing drugs.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Shedrick Bennett is suing his ex-wife, Megan Bennett, and her mother's dog.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 162 on the calendar in the matter of Bennett versus Ward Bennett.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat, please.
Mr. Bennett, this young lady is your former wife.
Yes, ma'am.
And the person with her is her mother.
Yes.
It is your claim that they have a dog that belongs to you.
Correct.
And you are suing for the return of the dog or the value of the dog.
Just a dog.
What kind of dog is it?
King Corso Pit Bull mixed.
And from whom did you purchase the dog?
I received the dog from my son, Jason.
Did you breed the dog?
Not yet, no.
Stand up.
I have not.
What do you mean you received the dog from your son, Jason?
He bought the dog from a friend of his.
And gave it to you as a gift?
No, he no longer could care for him.
When did you buy the dog from your friend? In what month and year?
It was June of 2011.
And how long did you have the dog?
About 3 months.
And then what did you do with the dog?
I gave him to my dad.
Where was he living at the time?
In Madisonville in Cincinnati.
Who was he living with?
Himself.
So you gave him the dog, Seven.
That's correct.
And when, Mr. Bennett, did you and Mrs. Bennett marry?
August of 2013.
Prior to marrying, did you live together?
Never. Out of 2 years of marriage,
No.
we never lived together.
You never lived together?
Never.
You are a truck driver.
Yes, ma'am.
Long distance trucking.
Yes, over the road.
Between September of 2011 and August of 2013, when you and Miss Bennett married, who took care of the dog when you were on the road?
A lot of the times, most of the time, he was with me. I took care of him.
So is what you're telling me, when you would go cross country,
Yes, ma'am.
the dog was with you?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying to me?
Yes, Your Honor. And I would have to say most of the time. Sometimes I left him home.
With whom?
My son, Jason.
Who else?
There were times that she kept him when she was not with me.
I'm talking about before her.
Oh, before her.
Before her, you had the dog. You had the dog for at
me.
least a year and a half.
He was with me or my sons.
So the answer is you did not take him on the road most of the time.
Most of the times when I didn't take him on the road, I left him at home with my sons.
Okay, fine. The dog hasn't been with you now since
2015. That's when Mary Jo began to take care of him for 2 months.
Now, why would she take care of him for 2 months?
I had gotten with a new trucking company.
Just a second. When were you divorced?
In August of 2015.
So after you were divorced,
Yes.
you asked her to take care of your dog for several months.
She asked me.
Oh, well, you just started telling me you were with a new trucking company.
She asked me if she could take care of the dog. I have it right here on
I'd
my
like
cell
to take
phone.
a look at it. Now, when you say, Mr. Bennett, you never lived together,
Yes,
even when you were married,
correct.
is that because you were traveling?
No, sometimes she would go on the road with me, sometimes just for a couple of weeks at a time. But when I come home, she would be at different people's houses. She would not come to my home. She would never come. She went from place to place doing drugs.
What is this?
That's a printout.
Of what?
Of all the text messages that I have from Mary Jo that's on my phone. And when I printed it out, it wouldn't leave her name or her number. I have all of the text messages from Mary Jo on this phone right here.
Well, this text message says, from you, you ought to just let him stay here. I feel safer at night with him here, too. Face for him here. He can still be your dog. Anytime you get settled, you can come and get him. But until then, he can stay here. That's what you said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was more to that then.
Shh. You're still working as a trucker, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, when you're on the road, Mr. Bennett, who's going to take care of this dog?
He can go with me. We have a pet policy with the company that I'm with. I'll also.
Just a second. You have a pet policy.
Yes.
And the company permits you on long-distance trucking to take your dog with you.
Yes.
And which of your supervisors can I call to confirm that?
Which one? I have to look in the... I'm not sure which one.
Well, who is the president of your company? What is the name of your company?
Celadon,
And where are they located?
Indianapolis.
Now, I'd like you not to waste my time, Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
because I can either continue this case in 15 minutes. The people back there will get me a phone number. the president of the company will speak to me on the phone. Am I wasting my time? Are they going to tell me that they have a policy where you, as a long-distance trucker, are allowed to take a pit bull mix in the cab of a truck with you? Are they going to tell me that they have that policy?
Probably not.
Probably not. Right. So I'm glad you didn't waste my... Right now, the dog has been with them for a year.
No, they
Almost
haven't.
a year.
No, they've been there just 2 months.
You told me it was October.
October of this past month. I tried to get him in January.
Just a second. The dog's there October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. We're now in July. That's 10 months.
I tried to get him in January, and they wouldn't give him to him. I went to the police station. They went to the resident to get the dog for me. They wouldn't give it over. He told me to take it to small claims court.
Good. Now, there's no question in my mind, because your mother filed a counterclaim, which I'm going to dismiss. And her counterclaim is that this man got you hooked on drugs, and it was his fault that you were on drugs, and all nonsense. Emotional distress.
She was on drugs since
I'm
08.
dismissing it because it's nonsense. It's not a cause of action. All I want to know is, you were married in 2013.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in 2013, was this dog ever at your house?
On and off the whole life.
Well, not the whole life, because they didn't marry until 2013. Were you together prior to 2013?
Yes, ma'am. And I did live at his house, which he says we never lived together. I did live there. He's saying he gave his father the dog. Really, I stayed at the house when he sometimes went.
Shh.
I was on the road with him. And when he was at the house, it's because I was there taking care of
You
him.
never lived there.
I have it on my ID, ma'am. When I lived at his house, I did live there, and I did take care of the dog. When we separated, I took him with me to my mother's house.
What month did you separate?
Honestly, we got back together and separated so many times, it's hard to tell you a day.
Okay. During those periods of time, together, back, forth.
And back and forth.
Back and forth and back and forth. Where was the dog?
Mostly, it's always been... that dog he's always been with Megan.
According to you, your daughter was dysfunctional for 2 years.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Just a second.
Since 08.
You know I'm not liking this.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What other dog was there?
I had another dog named Jada. I had her for 8 years, and she passed away of heartworms. And she was with me every day.
Well, then you should have taken her to a vet once to get treated for heartworm.
And later today,
she told me she had cancer and she was dying, and she was my caregiver when I came home from the hospital, so I felt sorry for her because...
Listen to me, I'm not interested in your story.
But I let her have a...
I'm not interested in your story.
May I show you the thing with the police?
I'm not interested
That's
in your story yet.
Shedrick Bennett says his ex-wife, Megan Bennett, and her mother, Mary Jo Ward, won't return his dog. The defendants are countersuing for harassment and emotional distress.
Now, according to you, your daughter was dysfunctional for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
At least the 2 years, because it's the 2 years that you're blaming it on him. So she wasn't taking care of herself, so she wasn't taking care of a dog. That's what I'm asking you. So the dog was with you.
That dog was with me, or that dog was with Megan. When the dog was with Rick, it was because Megan was with the dog, and there was another dog, too.
What other dog was there?
What was her name? Jada.
I had another dog named Jada. I had her for 8 years, and she passed away of heartworms. And she was with me every day.
Well, then you should have taken her to a vet once to get treated for heartworm.
I did, but it was too late.
Before it was too late. You should have taken care of the dog before it was too late. Do you have any vet bills?
No, I do most of the stuff. I just got bills for like when I was dog food.
I'd like to take a look at them. What was the matter with the dog in 2015?
An ear infection.
And who took the dog to the dog pass away?
Approximately a year ago.
And in whose custody was the dog when it passed away?
Me.
It was with you?
Yes.
Where?
In the truck. I was with a different company at the time, and we did have a pet policy.
Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Okay, the incident that happened when he went to the vet, it's because I had him at my mother's house with me. I tied him to a post. He was getting a bath because he rolled in oil, and he got attacked by hornets.
She tied him up.
And me and him was together at the time. When we was together, Just like he took care of me, yes, he would take care of my dog. But when we split up...
Listen to me. It wasn't your dog.
Yes.
It wasn't actually your dog. It came to him. It didn't come to you. You did not purchase it, and it was never given to you.
It was given to me.
By whom?
His son was going to get rid of him and give him to somebody else, but I had been there taking care of him along with his other dog.
Just a second. So is what you're telling me that your relationship with Mr. Bennett goes back to 2011?
This didn't happen in 2011. That dog wasn't... When he
dog's
said
not that old.
The dog's only 3.5 years old right now.
The dog is 4.5 years old.
6/22/2011
Yeah,
is the
that's
date
not
of
when
birth.
he got the dog.
Well, but I'm telling you, this is from the vet report, from a reporting 22/2011.
Okay, when I got with him, the dog was a baby. When I moved in with him...
Is the dog blue and white?
Yes.
6/22/11. Okay. Well, Mr. Bennett, I don't know at this point. I'm not sure what your intention is with regard to this dog.
I want it. I want to keep
I understand. I understand that you want it. I also understand that you're working and you have no place.
I do have a place.
Yeah, I know. I haven't heard about it yet. First, you told me that you could travel with the dog on the road.
He can stay with my sister. I have a sister.
Nice. Okay, right now the dog is very happy. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He's my child. He's very important.
I'm glad that we get to keep Pup.
She's a drug addict.
I was clean until I got back with him, and he knew that I was an ex-drug user.
That's untrue. She's been on drugs since 08. I didn't meet her until 12.
He used that to keep me confined.
I mean, if she can't take care of herself, how can she take care of her dog?
I got a feeling this ain't over.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Wright versus Spitzak. Step forward.
Diana Wright is suing her former friend, Carrie Spitzak, for the value of a car and a false restraining order.
How long have you and the defendant been friends?
Since I think it was 2012 or 13, because I had helped her out a lot. We had both helped each other out. I believe it was the end of 2012 or 13. Like I said, I'm not sure. I would take her son home from work for her and different things.
Well, that's different things. Taking a son home from work and giving you a car, two different things. This is what the case is about. You say she gave you a car, and then she took it back.
Yes.
And you want the value of the car.
Yes.
She says, yes, I gave her a car. But the deal was she was supposed to maintain the insurance on the car.
That's right.
And she did not maintain the insurance on the car, and she took it back.
That's
she
right.
Said when she said when she took it back, it was a disaster.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, so I have just a few questions. She gave you what kind of car and when?
Mercedes ML 320, and it was on April 15th. She had been promising it to me for 3 years.
I don't care.
Your Honor,
I don't
may
care
say
whether
something?
No.
Oh, okay.
You may not.
Thank you.
On April 15th of this year?
Correct.
Okay. And did you ever have the car registered in your name?
I believe that's what I have, because I started the transfer and everything.
Did you ever have the car registered in your name?
Yes, it is now.
It is now?
No, it's not, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Where is the car now?
It's been
Okay,
towed.
good. So this is what you went through. Quiet. You gave away something that you no longer wanted, which means that you divested yourself with it. You no longer have it. It's gone.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Diana Wright says former friend Carrie Spitzak illegally repossessed her car. Carrie is countersuing for money owed and stolen property.
Okay. When did you have it transferred to your name and registered?
April 19th.
Of this year?
Yes.
I'd like to see that.
I believe that's the date she's looking for.
Great. Well, this was a salvaged car.
Yes. Your Honor, I have paperwork that says it was in my name from the police department.
Just a second. And you were driving the car?
No, I was not driving the car. Well, I did when I first took it away from there, from her house.
On the 15th of April?
Correct.
And on what date did you take the car back?
The 15th of April. I finally got a hold of her that night.
The same day?
Same day she brought it back.
That's not true.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Just a second.
Okay. I called her for
Your
hours.
defense is that she failed to, and you found out on the same day that you gave it to her that
Yes.
she didn't have insurance?
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Okay. She told me she had insurance, and I thought, I'm going to double up on this insurance, and I'm going to go online, and I'm going to get her second insurance because I didn't want her to get in an accident, me be responsible. Could not insure her because of her credit.
Okay, well, I don't know that.
Couldn't insure her,
just
so I
a second,
called her.
Just a second. Do you have any proof of that?
I have just what I wrote up and the emails I gave her.
That's not proof.
Your
Just
Honor,
a second. At some point, she called you about insurance.
Yes.
I would like to see proof of insurance that you had insurance on this car on April 19th, which is the day that you told me you registered it. In order to register a car, you have to have insurance.
Right.
Show me that you had insurance on April 19th. That's easy.
Okay, I did not have insurance on the April 19th, and the agreement wasn't about insurance when I got it on the 15th.
Yes, it was.
I had told her that I could add it to my previous insurance that I already had for my car, and she didn't want me to do that.
Just a second. You had a car at the time she gave you this car?
Yes.
Well, show me proof of insurance on any car.
Oh, I didn't know I needed insurance for that. Oh, wait, I've got the Geico things
Your
on my
Honor,
phone.
may I say
Great.
something? I felt, she told me she had cancer and she was dying and she was my caregiver when I came home from the hospital. But I let her have the car.
I'm not interested in your story.
May I show you the thing with the police?
I'm not interested
That's
in your
my name.
story yet.
Okay, thank you.
I read your answer. Your answer said, I gave her the car.
Right.
The condition was that she would have insurance.
Right.
And if you gave her the car and the condition was insurance, then you had no right to take the car back.
But then she abandoned it and the police called me and told me to come and get it.
I did not.
That's how I got it back.
What's $39.65?
The car that I have.
You have a car insurance policy for $39.65?
Yes.
Does anybody pay
I have an excellent
$35
driving
for
record.
insurance?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, policy ending in 1851 will cancel on June 11th unless $39.65 is paid.
Correct.
Next one, your policy, $39.65 payment for policy ending in 1851 was unsuccessful.
Okay, then I'll find the other one
Okay,
because I
fine.
did make it right.
Fine.
Before it ended.
Fine. Did you invest any money in this car? The
Yeah.
answer is no, zero.
Yes.
Shh. You couldn't have invested any money in it, madam, because you only had it for an hour.
I did not have it for an hour. I had it for
4
a month.
days.
And, no.
From the 14th
a little over a month.
She came back and stole it
She
and
had
had
the
it for
car
2 months.
towed away
And then
where I
you
had
went
it parked.
and then you went and took it back?
She abandoned
Where is the car now?
It's gone because of her.
Just a second. Where is the car now?
It's been towed.
Okay, good. So this is what you had. You invested no money. Somebody
I
gave
have.
you an almost gift
That's
that
right.
fell through. Quiet. You gave away something that you
Sorry,
no
sir.
longer wanted to a friend, which means that you divested yourself with it. You no longer have it. It's gone. Your claim is... And your counterclaim is
No, Your
dismissed.
Honor,
I'm not
tickets.
awarding either one of you
I haven't been able
$5,000 on a salvaged car.
Your Honor,
Goodbye.
I haven't been able to say anything.
Please excuse you, Mr. House.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I gave her the car because I felt sorry for her. So she had a car to sleep in because she was homeless.
She gave me the car, and then she turned around and filed a police report saying that I stole it.
I won't help people anymore. I'm done. I'm done.
I can't trust her.
You have a pig.
Right.
But she got out of your yard.
Your Honor, this isn't the first time the pig has been on the property.
A pot-bellied porker goes hog wild.
The pig.
The dog was bit in the leg?
She was, Your Honor.
And she'll pay when pigs fly.
I watched with my own eyes as your pig attacked her dog.
She didn't go to the vet right away. She told me that the dog was fine.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Deborah Capra is suing her neighbor, Lisa Fernald, for vet bills and punitive damages after Lisa's pot-bellied pig bit her Great Dane.
Order. All rise.
Yes, case number 159 on the calendar, the matter of Capra versus Fernald.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Capra, do you and the defendant live in a rural area?
We do, Your Honor, but she lives 2 streets behind me, and the properties are about 2 acres apart. I have a map to show.
Is that correct?
It's Correct.
Are either of your properties fenced?
I have an invisible fence around my property for my dogs. I also have a stone wall around my property, except for a very small opening at the very end of my property. There is an opening in the wall.
Okay, so you have an invisible fence because you have dogs. What kind of fencing?
I have stockade, and then I have a chain link fence.
Okay. This is the problem. You have a pig.
Right.
Potbelly pig. How much does it weigh?
She's approximately 200 pounds.
Not what we think of, or what a non-potbelly pig person thinks of as a potbelly pig. You usually think of them as something small.
Right.
This one wasn't supposed to be small when you got it?
Yes.
She was supposed to be small and surprised you.
Yes.
Is this the only pig that you have?
Yes, it is.
And is she inside your house?
Yes, she is.
And inside your yard?
Yes.
But she got out of your yard?
Yes.
At least once. And, according to you, came onto your property and bit one of your dogs?
Correct.
When was that?
This was February 20th. Your Honor, this isn't the first time the pig has been on the property.
I read from your complaint that it had been on the property a year before.
About 6 months prior to that, yes.
Without incident?
Without incident.
Well, first, can you explain to me, Miss Fernald, how a 200-pound pig could get off of your property if it's fenced?
We did have a tree go down. There was a snowstorm, and we had a tree go down. So
when? On what date?
I don't know the date of when
Well, give me the month.
Approximately the end of January, beginning of February.
Okay, this incident happened on February 20th.
Correct.
Tell me what happened.
2 of my dogs were out.
How many dogs do you have?
I have 4 Great Danes. At the time, I had
Don't give me a whole story.
Okay.
You had 4 Great Danes.
4 Great Danes. 2 of them were outside. I saw them run to the back of the property. I ran outside to see what was going on, and I saw the pig.
On your property?
On my property. The Great Dane that's not mine, I was looking for a home for, I brought into the house first because I wasn't sure how she was going to react with the pig. Obie is a very laid-back dog. I knew she would be fine. I grabbed the other dog, brought the dog into the house. I came out, and I wanted to take a picture of the pig with the dog because the last time it was on the property, my husband says, "Are you sure a pig was on our property?" So I went to take a picture of the pig. By accident, I hit a video, and it was recording. And during that recording, the pig attacked my dog.
I assume then you have the video.
I do, Your Honor.
I'd like to take a look at it. The dog was bit in the leg?
She was, Your Honor.
You have the vet bill?
I have vet bills. They have photographs of her
I'd like to see
wounds.
it.
These are all my vet bills.
Dog okay?
She's okay now. It was touch and go for a while. She was very close to needing surgery. I show her. She needs one major to be a champion. She comes from a line of champions. And it came very close to her needing surgery, which would have been thousands of dollars.
Well, she didn't need surgery.
Right.
So tell me, what were the total of your vet bills?
The vet bills I had totaled up were $626. That was just for my vet. I didn't charge her for any of the bandages or anything.
I just want to know what the vet bills were, $626.
Yes.
Now, when this happened, Miss Fernald, I assume that the plaintiff came and told you that your animal was on her property and had injured her dog.
No, actually, the Wareham Police Department came to my home and got me.
And said to go get your pig off her
Yep,
property?
I followed them over to her home. I went to her home. At that time, she had her dog in the house. I asked her if her dog was okay. I've never had an incident. My pig's domesticated with other animals and everything. And she told me her dog was fine. That was there and to the dog officer. I mean, the
Don't tell me what she said to anybody else. Madam, that's hearsay.
Okay.
The dog was injured that day by your pig. I just saw that.
Okay.
Okay? I just saw that.
All right. Well, I have an affidavit from my daughter, too.
I don't care about an affidavit from your daughter. I watched with my own eyes as your pig attacked her dog. I saw the pig and I saw the leg. If you look at the video, you can see that. So my question is, did there come a time when the plaintiff presented you with the vet bill?
Actually, Animal Control gave me the original first bill.
Okay, so Animal Control came by. And did you ever, by the way, receive a ticket or anything else for having your pet on someone else's property?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Then is there any reason, just curious, is there any reason you have a ridiculous counterclaim for legal fees? What legal fees did you have to absorb?
I actually tried numerous times. I sent a certified letter.
For what?
To get documentation on what it is the dog was being treated for the medical bills, because she had told me that there was nothing wrong with the animal. I offered to pay the first bill. She refused to take the money from me. I apologize. And she said that she didn't want this to mean that I didn't have to pay her anything else. So I've tried to get...
You're talking about the first bill that came in right after February 20th.
Right.
Well, what if the dog?
I asked her to forward me that information as well as the doctor's
So now
records.
you understand that you are totally responsible for the vet bills and the other expenses, including bandages and anything else that she had to...
I don't feel as though I am.
Okay. Well, if you offered to pay the first vet bill, which occurred immediately after the incident, so now we know that you do feel responsible because you do understand that your pig injured her dog. Why do you feel as if you're not responsible for any subsequent vet bills a week later, 10 days later, for follow-up care, for follow-up visits? I don't understand that.
First off, she didn't go to the vet right away. She told me that the dog was fine. She went to the vet 2 days later. All I asked her was for documentation from the vet on what she's been treated. She charged me on some of the bills for like a flea and tick collar. Why would I be paying $70 for a flea and tick collar? How does that have to do with anything with the dog being injured?
Your Honor, that wasn't included in.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. Your counterclaim is ridiculous. It asks for attorney's fees, etc.
Well, I do have Animal Control here that did witness it, went out and witnessed
Animal Control did not witness what I just did. You just witness that video? Who's the Animal Control officer? Are you the Animal Control? Did you witness the video before today?
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't see what I saw?
I was not
100% sure. You have to be here in a preponderance of the evidence. I saw the pig. The pig was on her property. It had been on her property before, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's a no-no, right? She fences in her property. Stand up. She fences in her property because she has dogs. She has an electric fence. Her dogs have collars. What you're supposed to do, if a tree is down in January and you have a 200-pound pet on your property, you fix the fence before February 20th. Doesn't that sound logical to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. We're done here. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She stood there and videotaped it instead of removing her animal.
I actually had to call the police and call a neighbor to try to help get it off my property.
Walk the animal back?
I did try to do that. And I wasn't getting anywhere with that.
The woman set up a GoFundMe in the amount of $606.
I have no idea. I have no idea what she's talking about.
So she's scamming people.
She's just been very combative.
That's just the type of person she is.
She just felt as though she just wasn't responsible for this, and she was.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Mills versus Parker. Step forward.
Tyreen Mills is suing his former roommate, Jackie Parker, for the return of rent and property.
Mr. Mills, you rented a room from Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Is that in a townhome?
It's a two-bedroom apartment.
How long had you lived there, sir?
Almost 7 months.
Did you have a roommate when you first moved in?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever have a roommate?
No, ma'am.
So Mr. Mills was your first roommate?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you move in, Mr. Mills?
I moved in. I gave him money on the 26th of June.
How much money did you give him?
I gave him $700. It was $500 for the rent, $200 for the deposit. The 26th, I gave him that.
26, you gave him money.
Nice.
You don't deny he gave you that money.
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you move in?
The 26th, I gave him the money. He gave me the keys. The 26th, later that day, the 27th, I moved my things in.
Now, the lawsuit wants the return of all the money that you gave him.
Yes.
And the value of certain property that you said Mr. Parker took from you.
Yes.
And the fact that he illegally evicted you.
Yes.
Mr. Parker said he doesn't specifically address the illegal eviction, even though he changed the locks shortly after you moved in. He said that you were kind of messy. Whatever.
I'm sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You changed the locks on him, thereby constructively evicting him, even though he had paid his rent. I asked you why, and you said safety reasons.
He became pretty aggressive after the second day that he moved in, which was on a Tuesday.
How aggressive?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tyrene Mills says former roommate Jackie Parker locked him out of their apartment. He is suing for the return of rent and property. Jackie is countersuing for loss of property, threats, and assault.
Now, on what dates did you change the locks?
July 1st.
Now, the rent that he paid you, the $700, that was for July.
Correct. At the end of June, July. Yes, ma'am.
It was for July.
Yes,
he moved in on the 27th, so it was for July. Now, on what basis, sir, did you change the locks, thereby constructively evicting him from the premises?
It was because of a safety reason.
Let me hear.
As soon as he moved in, actually it was the 24th when I met with him, and then he brought the money over on the 26th, which I gave him the rent. It was getting pretty late, and I play sports on the weekend, so I told him, well, we can meet on, I bring the lease agreement.
Just give me...
Okay.
You changed the locks on him, thereby constructively evicting him, even though he had paid his rent. I asked you why.
Okay.
And you said safety reasons.
Yes, ma'am. He became pretty aggressive after the second day that he moved in, which was on a Tuesday.
How aggressive?
I was trying to get the lease agreement signed with him, and then I'm a nurse and I work pretty late, so I was kind of tired. I said, well, let's just do it on Wednesday. And so he started coming home early just to meet you, and I said, and I was trying to be sympathetic and apologize, and he just kept going on. It was
just a minute. You mean you told him to come home to sign the lease?
No, when he gets home from work. I didn't know he took off from work early.
We're missing a beat here, Mr. Parker.
Okay.
You wanted him to sign a lease.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you make a time with him?
No,
Did you make a time? Did he make a time with you? No, he did not. Okay, so what time did you get home?
I think I got home around 7:30, because I skipped my class. I came about 7:30, I think it was.
In the evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And this was on the 20...
Yes, that Monday.
I don't know. So you have to give me the date.
Yes.
What date?
It was the 28th. I have
28th.
I have it on the lease that we signed. It says the date that we signed it. It was
28th. Okay, so it was the day after he moved in.
Okay.
On the 28th. So go ahead.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. It was just, then he just began to be very aggressive. And then after we signed the lease, we talked about the rules of the house. I told him no smoking, no loud music. And if you have company to come over, please be at a respectable hour, because I get up early in the morning.
Is all of that in the lease?
No, we actually verbally talked about that.
You can't, listen to me carefully. You can't have him sign the lease and then tell him what the rules are.
Oh, no, it was before. It was before.
Oh, that's not what... Just a second. That's not what you said. Put your hand down.
I'm sorry.
You wanted him out. You said, you're smoking in my house. It's not working out. I'm a non-smoker, and I'm going to change the locks. And he says, I don't care what you do. Just have my money.
And these are the photographs where I woke up at 2 a.m. in the morning where he was smoking. My house was on fire.
Mr. Mills, what were you smoking?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tyrene Mills says former roommate Jackie Parker locked him out of their apartment. He is suing for the return of rent and property. Jackie is countersuing for loss of property, threats, and assault.
Now, even if it's before, if it's not contained in the lease, it's not part of the agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
No smoking, no loud music, no cooking in the kitchen, big meals, because I see that that was an issue. Anything that's not contained in the four corners of your written contract doesn't exist.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as your relationship with him goes as landlord and tenant. Now, I want you to tell me what he did that inspired you to change the locks.
Well, that following Wednesday, I was in the kitchen, getting ready to clean the kitchen, wash dishes. He became very aggressive toward me, started walking toward me.
Aggressive is a conclusion.
Yes, ma'am.
You tell me exactly what he did.
He started cursing me out, and then because I didn't, it all came over from that Tuesday when I signed the lease. Seemed like everything just did a 180, and his behavior toward me, and like slamming the doors, and I smelled smoke in the house. I said, and I asked him, I said, are you smoking in my house? He said no, and I said, okay. Then I told him to lock the doors. I came home 2 nights in a row. My doors was unlocked, and he was nowhere to be found, so I knocked on the door. Then when I knocked on his door, I said, please, Tyrene, lock my doors. And then he started yelling at me. So I turned around, I walked away. I went in my room and locked the door. And so then after that, then on Thursday, everything he started coming at me and just like verbally attacking me. And then I had to call the police.
You have to return all of his money to Mr. Parker. $700.
Okay.
Okay, you should have returned it before. Should have returned all his money before. He was supposed to be there the month of July. You locked him out July 1st. He had locks changed back. Now, you had a locks...
I'm sorry.
You had a locksmith come in and change the locks back? You never did?
No.
Okay, so when he locked you out, you stayed out?
I stayed out. I'm homeless right now.
Just a second. When he changed the locks, you did not change them back?
No.
Okay. You have any proof that he changed the locks back?
Yes, I paid for 2 locksmiths to come out. On Friday, then when I got home, I saw the locks. I have a countersuit against him. Because he broke into my home. He's took both TVs out of both rooms, my air conditioner, everything.
Just a second. I know you have a countersuit.
Yes, ma'am.
And you say that he broke into your house.
Yes, ma'am. I have the police report. My locks, like both locks on my screen door was unlocked.
All I want to know is what proof you have that he did that.
I live alone. He's the only one in my home with keys to my home. He came in. He had my neighbor saw him when he pulled in there because she knew he was there.
No, just listen to me. Your neighbor's not here. You can't tell me what your neighbor said to you. I'll look at the police report.
Yes, ma'am. Then he took everything. I have the
He didn't take anything yet until you have a witness that says that he took anything out of your house. You changed the locks. That's all that you know. And then at some point you came home and you found your house broken into.
Yes, ma'am.
And property missing.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I have text messages also where I asked him to bring it back, and he was telling me to keep returning his money.
Just a
and
second.
for all the damages.
Just a second.
Okay.
Okay, now I'll take a look at your text messages because this tells me nothing.
And also, I have photographs. Oh, sorry.
Give me photographs. I don't need photographs. First, I have to find culpability.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, there's no proof, Mr. Parker, that Mr. Mills said, you're smoking in my house, it's not working out, I'm a non-smoker, you're playing in loud noise, everything else, it's not working out, and I'm going to change the locks. And he says, I don't care what you do, just have my money, my $700 that he paid you.
And these are the photographs where I woke up at 2 a.m. in the morning where he was smoking, my house was on fire.
Yeah, I see the photographs of the...
and this is what woke me up at 2 a.m. in the morning. And
I don't care if it was 2 a.m. That's what happens when you have a roommate. Don't have a roommate. Live alone. You've been living alone for 7 months. Stay that way. Now, Mr. Mills.
Yes.
What were you smoking?
I was not smoking in his house. When I moved into that room, he had candles burning, Glad candles, circle candles. They was on top of the wooden dresser.
You were not smoking?
No.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I moved in 28th. I gave him my money.
He became very aggressive, and he was very homophobic. And
30th, he changed the locks. He told me he put my clothes and things on the balcony.
And I just wanted him out of my house, and so it became a safety issue. He's trying to fight me, and
when I went to go receive my clothes and things, they were not there.
I just told him to leave, and then he took all my stuff, robbed my house.
I'm homeless right now. All of my things are still missing.
Nah,
a thorough background check before I just move in with somebody.
First thing to do is to live by yourself.
Because I don't know what this guy's problem is.
Did he come to the house when you were there?
I was in Pennsylvania.
Absentee homeowners try to get a handle on their handyman.
How much did you pay him altogether?
$2,300.
You may not like the $2,300 worth of work.
But what they found left them floored.
When I discovered it was not finished, and I asked Clay why it was not, and he said when I got up on the ladder, I got scared because it was too high, and I could not finish the job.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Mary and Edward Boyer are suing handyman Jameson Clay Johnston for incomplete and substandard work on their home.
Order. All rise.
This is case number 170 on the calendar, the matter of Boyer versus Johnston.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Mr. and Mrs. Boyer, you hired Mr. Johnson to do some work in a house that belongs to you in Arkansas. It is your claim in this lawsuit he shouldn't have done what you were caused to repair at some cost to yourselves. Mr. Johnson actually has a countersuit. He said he did more work than originally contracted for, and you actually owe him money. I gather from reading the complaint, Mr. and Mrs. Boyer, that you moved from Arkansas to Pennsylvania. When was that?
We moved to Pennsylvania in April of 2015.
And when did you move back to Arkansas from Pennsylvania?
We moved approximately May 1st of 2016 back.
And your house has been for sale since what month and year?
We had it for sale by owner, which a friend of mine was doing first, and then we listed it.
Just a second. What month and year did you have it listed?
We listed it
by owner.
Oh, when we left the state of Arkansas in April of 2015.
Prior to that, had it ever been for sale?
No, ma'am.
So you subsequently, when you left, listed it with a broker?
No, ma'am. It was for sale by owner in the beginning, and then when it did not sell, we contacted Laura Dreyer here. She's our realtor, and then she listed the house approximately February of 2016.
Did it sell?
No, ma'am.
Are you currently living in it?
Yes, ma'am.
So you moved back to Arkansas?
Yes, ma'am.
And you moved back into the house?
Yes.
Yes.
And you are currently living in the house?
Yes.
And still hasn't sold?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you yourselves hire Mr. Johnson, or was that the realtor?
No, ma'am, it was me.
It was you?
Yes.
When did you hire him?
I hired him, the first contact with Clay was March 9th of 2016.
Did he come to the house when you were there?
I was in Pennsylvania.
I thought you moved in April.
To Pennsylvania. We didn't come back until about May of 2016.
So what was your contact with Mr. Johnson in March?
My previous boss, Bill, owns a lot of rental houses, and he has contracted with Clay to do his work, and he's a very trusted friend of mine, and so I trusted his judgment. When I asked him if Clay would do work for us, he suggested him.
Fine. So we came with a recommendation.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a written contract with him?
I had it over text, ma'am. He sent me a list of everything.
So the answer is you didn't have a written contract?
On paper, no, ma'am.
Do you have the text messages that form the basis of your oral understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at them.
Okay, here's the initial list of things that he said he was going to do for us, and then the estimate down at the bottom was $1,200.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, the kitchen, study, and dining room.
Yes, ma'am.
Did he tear off the wallpaper in the kitchen, study, and dining room?
No, ma'am. There was no wallpaper in the dining room. We had a designer...
Just a second. This is what he says.
I know.
Tear off wallpaper in the kitchen, study, and dining room.
Yes, ma'am. If you look further down, I told him that there was no wallpaper in the dining room.
Fine. So don't take the wallpaper off the dining room, because there's no wallpaper there. Fix garage door. Did you do that?
No, ma'am, I didn't. It was on the estimate, and there was a latch broke on it, and I didn't get to it by the time they moved back.
Just a second. So did not fix the garage door. Make a drawer front for the cabinet on back of the kitchen bar. Did you do that?
No, ma'am, I removed the... Shh. Oh, sorry.
The answer is no.
No, ma'am.
And paint it. So I assume if you didn't do it, you didn't paint it. Touching up any trim downstairs, which includes putting in and painting trim. Did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you clean up the backyard and repaint the front porch swings?
Cleaned up the backyard, the front porch swings, no, they were taken down.
No swings. Okay. Could you stand up, please? Yes. Tell me your last name.
Dreyer.
Miss Dreyer, you're the realtor?
Yes, ma'am.
And I assume you were showing the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you show the house while Mr. Johnson was working in the house?
And that was the problem. It was just too overwhelming for buyers with all the chaos in there and the half painting and everything going on. They said it looked like
there was chaos before because it didn't sell before either.
Right, and I'm the one that suggested that they get it redone.
Spruced up a little bit.
Spruced up, yes, ma'am.
Spruced up a little bit. Well, did you ever go into the house to see how it was getting spruced up?
Absolutely.
In what month?
When he started on it.
What about
in May.
What about after he started on it?
Of course, yes.
Of course. What did it look like?
He just wasn't finished, you know, half painting jobs, you know. He kept saying, well, I'm finishing up today, I'm finishing up tomorrow, and I'll have it all spotless.
So. Nobody was there. How much did you pay him altogether?
$2,300, Your Honor.
And what did you do for $2,300?
$500 of that was the initial part for the materials of it, and then paying the employees that I had working for me.
Just a second. What work did you do in the house?
Sorry, ma'am. I did the...
Slowly. Tell me exactly what work you did in the house for the $2,300.
Tore off wallpaper in the kitchen and in the study.
Tore off the
Primed
wallpaper.
walls.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Had to resheet rock walls to do patch-up jobs on certain areas so that I could primer and repaint. The trim...
Just a second. Did you finish any of those rooms? Those rooms are finished. The
Yes,
dining
ma'am, and
room?
I have pictures of those.
I'd like to take a look at them. The dining room is finished, and the
Yes, ma'am.
library, did you say?
The study or bedroom.
Okay. The kitchen, what did you do to the kitchen?
Tore off wallpaper and painted the walls.
And you painted the walls?
Yes, ma'am.
Finished the kitchen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this is a bedroom?
That is the study, yes, ma'am.
Study. And you painted this blue?
It's like a silk gray.
Well,
yes,
what is
ma'am.
this?
That is tape, taping off the trim.
Did you ever take the tape off?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the banister and these walls?
Yes, I painted those walls as well. Yes,
These walls go upstairs. You
yes,
painted
ma'am.
them.
Painted the room upstairs as well.
So how many rooms in total did you paint? You painted all this blue.
Yes, ma'am.
Any question about that?
The only thing that I did not get to in the front part was the top edge, the very top edge, because I could not safely get up there, and by the time I acquired a ladder, they were already moved in, and it was hard to move around.
Is the paint there?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, on the one he was saying that he did not acquire a ladder, he sent me a picture of it that went 3/4 up the wall and told me it was finished. And when I got home and discovered it was not, and he said when I got up on the ladder, I got scared because it was too high and I could not finish the job. I have
Okay,
pictures.
fine. So far, I'm seeing a whole lot of painting there. Did you buy the mulch, by the way?
She purchased the mulch through the materials, yes, ma'am.
And what did you do with it?
I mulched the front flower beds, yes, ma'am. I mowed the front yard and backyard.
Which he was not asked to do.
Oh, sure he was.
No, he wasn't.
I see the text.
Well, I mean, he said...
Just a second. I see the text.
Okay.
Sure he was. I mean, I'm looking to see whether he did $2,300 worth of work. Looks to me as if he did $2,300 worth of work. You may not like the $2,300 worth of work. You may not like the way he painted it, but he certainly was there.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
May we show you things that he did that we didn't ask him to do?
I saw the texts back and forth. He discusses the stripe.
Right, we did not ask him to
He
paint
then
that.
say, don't touch it.
Okay.
And later today,
I would let him sleep on the floor in the living room, along with his daughter, and his son would come over and sleep there, and eat there, and take showers.
Well, that sounds as if she was very nice to you.
She was very nice to me.
And why would you think she would steal your tools, which is what you're alleging?
real cases, real people. Claim handyman Jamison Clay Johnston owes for incomplete and substandard work on their home. Clay is countersuing for unpaid work.
Okay, how long, Miss Dreyer, was he there?
A couple of months.
So every time you went there, over that 2-month period, according to you and your other realtors went into the house, there were things going on there.
Yes, ma'am.
There were things going on there.
Your Honor, I have pictures of the foyer where he did not finish.
So, show, I'm looking. I'm looking.
May we show you things that he did that we didn't ask him to do?
Like, for example, the...
Just a second.
In our dining room.
Just a second. I saw the texts back and forth. He discusses the striping with you in the text.
Right, we did not ask him to
He
paint
then
that.
say, don't touch it.
Okay.
That's what you do. I read all the
When
texts.
he said he was going to remove the wallpaper in the text, I said, Clay, that's not wallpaper, that's paint. You don't need to remove any wallpaper, nothing like that.
I read all the texts. He did $2,300 worth of work.
But, Your Honor, we have pictures of what he said he did and how it was done incorrectly. We have pictures of paint.
Then don't hire him again. You're not getting any money back from him. He did the work. He painted it. You were absentee owners. You had a realtor there. If the realtor looked at the job, doing a terrible job, and you told him to stop, we have a different story. But it sounds to me from your realtor that this young man was there with other people and tried to be most accommodating to you. He mulched your front yard. He mulched. I know what I paid to have somebody just, and I bought the mulch, just mulched front and backyard.
He also had a friend of mine helping him do that. He,
Your case is dismissed. You have no case. We're done. Your counterclaim is ridiculous, sir, and I'm dismissing it. You do understand.
Thank you,
For more
yes,
money.
ma'am.
That's not happening.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
There is paint all over my ceilings.
I'm happy with it.
Paint all over the woodwork.
These are the very first people to ever complained about my work.
Everything Clay did has to be redone.
The woman's just unreasonable.
Make sure you know your contractor, who you're dealing with.
Probably get recommendations on the people you're going to do work for.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Montawine versus Flores. Step forward.
Edward Montawine is suing his former friend, Patricia Flores, for stealing his work tools and loss of income.
Mr. Montawine, when did you go to live in the defendant's house? Was that in April of this year?
Yes.
Were you homeless at the time?
Yes.
And you knew her from the mobile park home where she lived?
Yes.
She said you could come and live in her home, stay in her home. You were going to be doing some work for her.
Yes.
And you moved some things into her shed.
Correct.
She didn't charge you any rent.
No.
She let you move in April. Where did you sleep?
I slept on the front room floor.
When exactly did you move in April?
I had moved in between the 1st and the 3rd.
Immediately prior to that, where was your last home?
My last home would be at Space in that mobile home park.
What happened to that home?
I finished with it.
What do you mean you finished with it?
I lived in a mobile home. I finished it, moved on to the next one. Finished it, moved on to the next one.
So what you do is you go in and do work in the house?
Yeah, the houses are empty when I move in.
Who pays you to do the work?
My boss.
But you and the boss had a falling out?
Yes.
What was that about?
Money.
That he said you took from him or that he owed you?
Well, he owed me.
Did he ever give you the money?
No.
Then the first line of your complaint would be incorrect, because the first line of your complaint says, in April of this year, I was sent to Patricia's home by my former employer to do some work.
That's how I met Patricia.
In April, you were sent by this boss that you had had a fight with, who fired you, to her house?
I must have the dates mixed up. I'm sorry about that.
That's what it says.
When I met Patricia, I came over to fix either, it might have been the steps or the loose banister or whatever was at the, that's what I did. I fixed it, and I left. Okay, and she had a few
Then
concerns.
you had a fight with your boss?
Yes.
So after you had done some initial work for her,
Yes, ma'am.
time passed,
Yes.
and then you went back. Is that correct? Did he do some initial work for you at some point prior to April of this year?
Yes.
What kind of work did he do?
He came and looked at my swamp cooler, but it never got fixed. He did fix a belt on it, but he didn't fix the motor and the pads. The back door he didn't finish fixing. He didn't finish fixing the plumbing under the sink in the bathroom. He duct taped it.
When was this? In what month?
I moved there February 14th of this year. So since February 14th till the end of April, when he came into my home, there was odds and ends of things that had to be fixed.
So he was in and out of your home. Why don't you tell me why you let him move in and sleep on the floor in your home?
Because at the time he was sleeping in a shed by his daughter's house, and it was like just enough room for a blanket and a pillow. And so I said he can store his stuff. Wasn't using my storage, and I have a fenced-in yard, a small gate. And so I let him use that to keep his stuff in there or whatever. He did sleep in there, because when I wasn't home, I don't let anybody in my house, but I found later they were. But I would let him sleep on the floor in the living room, along with his daughter, and his son would come over and sleep there and eat there.
She was very nice to me.
Then why would you think she would steal your tools, which is what you're alleging?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you got home, your father must have said to you, these aren't all my tools.
I had called him.
Called him on your what?
On my cell phone.
What kind of cell phone do you have? With that. And did you take a picture of the tools?
No.
You have anything else?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Edward Montawine says former friend Patricia Flores stole his work tools, causing him to lose work.
Okay, just asking you a question, sir. It sounds as if she was very nice to you.
Yes, she was.
Let you sleep in her house?
Mm-hmm.
Your daughter, son, sleep in the house? And it doesn't look to me like this is a lady who uses tools herself. Why would you think she would steal your tools?
Because she told me that I have your tools, but I'm not going to, you can't have them back until it's clean.
Just a second. She said to you what and when?
She said, your tools are safe, there's nothing missing.
Your tools are safe. And when did she say that to you?
That would be about the 15th or 16th of last month, I believe. So
your tools are safe. There is nothing missing, because you must have had a falling
out. He left the house and never came and told me he was leaving or anything. His daughter came and took the stuff, all his property off of there.
Which daughter?
I have not talked to him. He's not been around.
Which daughter?
Audrey. The one that's got her hand
That
raised?
one?
Yes.
So you never had a conversation with him?
No.
Saying to him, I have your
No,
tools, they're
he
safe?
sent Billy in the house.
Who's Billy?
His ex-boss.
Are you back working for him?
No. I have a legally blind daughter that I go over there and I'll fix her whatever she needs fixed periodically. Okay, her next door neighbor needed a carburetor done, and I needed some specialty tools for it, so I sent my daughter Audrey over there to get them. And when she went over there, all my stuff was scattered out of her shed, scattered around her yard. All my possessions I had in there, except for my tools. And I had my daughter Audrey.
What tools are we talking about?
All my tools I've acquired over 15 years, Your Honor.
I'm asking you what specific tools.
Makita impact drill, Makita skill saw, all my tools, ratchets, toolbox.
You know where any of his tools are?
They're in a big blue trash can. Audrey came over with a hand truck, a dolly, a white one, and put that on there and walked it up the street to the other park. She got everything out there.
Other than what his daughter took, do you know where any of his tools are?
They took. I have no.
Don't.
Nope.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, you can stand up. On what date did you go over to the shed?
The 29th.
Of what month?
It was May 29th. I went over there to get my dad's tools because he needed certain tools to work on the car.
And what did you go over there with?
I went over there with a dolly.
And did you put the tools in the dolly?
Whatever tools that were left there, which was tools that basically...
Did you take photographs of the tools that you took?
No.
If you got home, your father must have said to you, these aren't all my tools.
I had called him, and I told him, I said...
Called him on your what?
On my cell phone.
What kind of cell phone do you have? Get that. And did you take a picture of the tools?
No.
You have anything else? You have anything else?
No, ma'am.
Let me tell you something. I don't understand why somebody who was nothing but nice to you for no reason, nice to you, according to her, and nice to you.
She offered me her half of the bed, her bed, and I refused it.
Can he give him his tools?
We're done. Give him whatever you have. Bird will give it to him. Officer Bird, will you transfer over to him everything that you have? Very good. We're done.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I refused her half of the bed.
He's homeless. He needs money from somewhere.
When I left for a couple of days because I was uncomfortable, she took all the tools I've accumulated over 15 years, got rid of them.
I gave him back his tools that he left at the house.
We're all flawed in some way or another.
I like the guy. No bad ill feelings against him or his family.
You had some sort of an altercation with his little brother.
Yes.
Violence in a Chicago neighborhood.
When a brother comes down, we get to arguing. He swung, missed, I swung, connected, we fight.
Mr. King was very angry that his brother ended up in the hospital.
And Big Brother cuts to the chase.
When you went down there to talk to him, did you have a knife?
Him and his family had knives too, so...
You're not supposed to go to his house with a knife.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jermaine Minter is suing 21-year-old Trayvon King for threatening him.
All rise. It's case number 141 on the calendar in the matter of Minter versus King.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. King, is this your younger brother?
No, this is actually my friend.
Your younger brother isn't here.
No, ma'am, he's still on house arrest.
House arrest for what?
I think it was a gang laundering or something. I don't know the exact case.
How long has he been on house arrest?
For approximately like 2 to 3 months now.
Was he incarcerated for any period of time?
Yeah, for about like a week or two. That's about it.
How old is he?
He's 18.
Now, there came a time when you had some sort of an altercation with his little brother.
Yes.
Tell me about the altercation, if you want to.
So the particular problem with me and him actually had a fight came March 17th, 2016. I was on my way to get my driver's license. In order to get to, I stay 63rd, my auntie stays 64th, so I have to walk past their house to get to my auntie house. I was on my way to get the money because she's the one paying it for me. That's when a brother comes down, we get to arguing.
You mean his brother
yes.
came down?
I'm gonna call him heavy because
what was the argument about?
Because the night before, then I entered a house without knocking, and it just got on some, you supposed to knock. Well, if I'm coming here for the person and they told me to come in, you need to take that up with the person that told me to come in, not...
And you opened the door. So the younger brother said...
You need to knock. But he didn't say it that night.
I got it. Did you get into a physical altercation
the
with
next
him?
morning? Not that night. That night it was just, okay, you a police. He called me a police. Okay, whatever you want to say. I left because I was at their house. I left, went home. The next morning, as I said, I was going to get my
driver's
license. Walking past my auntie house to get the money for it. The brother run off the porch. Something saying, so is all that stuff about yesterday. Come on, man, ain't nobody on that with you. That's just how we talk. He swung, missed, I swung, connected, we fighting. I leave to go get my driver's license, he leaves to go to the hospital.
So you won the fight?
I'm guessing.
Okay. And then it is your claim, I don't actually think that Mr. King disputes the fact that Mr. King was very angry that his brother ended up in the hospital, and at some point he came to your house.
Yes.
When did you go to his house? What date? That date? March?
Actually, March 17th. If I can show you this, it basically stayed from the day that they got into it until now.
Something that you wrote out?
No, this is actually text message of him texting me.
Fine. I want to know when you went to his house.
March 19th, to be exact.
What time?
I get off work at 2, so it had to be about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
In the afternoon?
Yes.
How many others other than that one friend? How many others?
No, it was just us. Now, my father was there, but he
Just a second. So you, your friend, and your father?
Yes, but my father, you know what I'm saying, he had a bad crash, so he was basically just telling me to come over there and find out what's happening.
Just a second.
Okay.
All I asked you was, how many people went to his house? So it was you, your friend, and your father.
Okay, yeah, that went to his house is just me and my friend.
Where was your father?
My father was, at the porch, you know what I'm saying, basically telling us, to just leave it alone.
Why didn't you listen to him?
Because I didn't go down there to fight. I went down there to talk to him as a man.
When you went down there to talk to him, did you have a knife? When you went down there to talk to him, did you have a knife?
Not the first time.
So you went down to talk to him twice?
Yes, the first time I went to talk to him as a man, but I was, being aggressive, with these text messages.
Just a second. So when you went back the second time, was that also on March 19th?
Yes.
Then you did have a knife. And who went back with you the second time?
I went back down and by myself.
You were there by yourself? With a knife. So you left your friend and you substituted a knife for your friend. Now tell me what happened when you got there the second time with the knife.
Okay, well, during the first time before I left, I was, people family had knives too, so I went about it the wrong way, but I did go back down there because I wanted to get to the bottom of it, why this continuing problem with my baby brother at that.
Why was your baby brother in jail?
Whatever he does in the streets. Like I said, I don't know exactly.
Had nothing to do with him.
Right.
So, wouldn't that say something to you?
Ain't got nothing to do with him biting my brother in the eye.
What?
It don't have nothing to do with whatever my brother does in the street. It doesn't have nothing to do with him biting my brother in the eye.
Unless your brother started a fight with him.
Okay, my brother didn't start a fight with him.
How do you know that? You weren't there.
But I got uncles that tell me that what happened too. Like my papa out there too. He's 74 years old. You know what I'm saying?
So he's young.
No. The whole thing is, Your Honor...
Did he just say no? Listen, you had no reason to go to his house with a knife.
He had no reason to open my parents' door without their permission.
Mr. King, there may be things that I don't understand. There are a lot of clearly civilized things that you don't understand. Because somebody walks into somebody who is basically, your friends, you have a lot of people living in your house. He didn't go there to burglarize your house. He went there to see somebody in your house. And because you cop an attitude, because he didn't knock appropriately, doesn't mean that you go to his house. Your brother did. Doesn't mean that you go to his house with it. You go to his house with a knife for.
The reason I went to his house with a knife is because when I went down there to talk to him as a man, you know what I'm saying, he got defensive with me after these text messages, which is before I even came down there. The whole point of me coming down there was because he bit my brother almost half his eye off. I went down there to talk to him about it, what's going on? Because like he said, he had an altercation with my baby brother again, you know what I'm saying? Then it went to my baby brother to my little brother, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to know what was going on. When I went down there, he was telling me what he was going to do to me, like he was doing in the text, you know what I'm saying?
Now I'm going to take a look at the texts.
I got the top part for the beginning of it on my phone. And that was leading up to the...
Sorry. This is not in my mental wheelhouse, these emails. You're not supposed to go to his house with a knife.
He wasn't supposed to chase me down with a knife.
Listen to me. Don't answer that. That's a statement. It's not a question. It doesn't require an answer. You're not supposed to go to his house with a knife. You want to go to a mediation? Get a mediation. Going to his house with a knife is not a civilized resolution to a problem. Now, he came to your house with a knife, but he didn't assault you. Is that correct?
Physically, no.
Okay. Now, the other part of your complaint is that he should be punished punitively because your daughter was present.
Yes.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter, 8. That's the first person they approached. They didn't approach me. They approached my daughter coming out of school. 6 guys coming up to my daughter. She's running down crying to my baby's mother. I'm in the house asleep. They actually come wakes me up. She's dramatic. My baby just, ugh. They say they finna jump you, Daddy. Who is they? Let me go out here and see. Open the door. Who do I see? Trayvon, the young gentleman right there. His father. His father got somebody. 3 more people. It's 7 people.
Okay. How far away from
I stay.
I'm sorry. From where you were is your daughter's school?
Directly right across the street. But she's more on the corner of 64th, where they let her out at, and I'm more on the corner of 63rd.
How old is she?
She'd be 9 July 31st.
Stand up. Tell me your last name.
Davis.
Mr. Davis, were you there on this date in March with Mr. King?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when for the first time did you see Mr. Minter's daughter?
The first time I saw her...
That day?
She was inside his stepmom. However, knew that was his daughter. No, I did not.
And who else was there the first time that you went to the house?
His 2 little brothers, a female, his cousin, and his daddy.
And did you go back the second time?
No, I ain't go back the second time. I ain't walked back down the street the second time.
But at no time did you go to the school?
No, we never went to the school.
Did you ever go to the school?
No, ma'am.
All very, very upsetting. But not a lawsuit, actually. Not a lawsuit. What?
Can I say something? And the reason why his daughter was at my house because I have 2 little cousins that she plays with, so that's the reason why she was there, you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't harm no little lady.
Listen, I assume you were not arrested for assaulting his little brother. Is that correct?
No.
Did your little brother press charges against him?
No.
Is there a reason for that?
Because his little brother was wrong. I mean, his little brother still talk right now.
You do?
It's Trayvon is the problem. And no, they did not go to my daughter's school. My daughter have to walk past their house, and that's when they approached them. And when I tell you 7 people, the 7 people that it was included don't even include his 2 little brothers that was there.
Mr. King, listen to me. Do you have children?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I got a little girl and I got a boy, a baby boy on the way.
I want to...
Shh. Listen to me.
Okay.
I assume you want better for your children than what you have. You all want, for your children, something better than what you have. Then you have to start behaving in a more appropriate way. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's uncivilized to go to someone else's home with the intention of fighting them.
I wasn't intending to fight them.
Or scaring them with a knife. Uncivilized. To leave an area where you went to talk, and then you had a whole bunch of nasty texts back and forth, and then go home and arm yourself with a knife and go back. There are only 2 reasons for that, because...
I didn't go home and arm myself. The March 17th, all that was the same day. The same morning that he bit my little brother in the eye, all them text messages was from that day.
You told me it was on the 19th. Listen to me. You told me the 19th.
Right, the 17th, that's when he texted all that. I was going to go over there that same day, but he was telling me how he got it.
I don't care.
But I just don't want you to try to make it seem like I'm in the wrong or like I...
You are.
You know what I'm saying?
But just a second. You are in the wrong. You told me a story that you were so angry because he almost bit your little brother's eye off that you wanted to talk to him and figure out what's all this about.
You ain't hit me out before I told you.
You had these messages back and forth.
I told you I went over there, him and his baby mama, they got offensive, and they got to pulling out butcher knives, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, then a smart person would not go back with a knife.
Are you right?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
He filed a restraining order against my daughter and would not let her come on the property, and they forged the lease. You can see where the lease has been whited out with their names.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jermaine Minter says Trayvon King showed up at his home and threatened him with a knife.
Yeah, a smart person would not go back with a knife. If they copped an attitude because you were over there and you were trying to figure out what had happened with your brother so that he almost lost an eye and all was very calm, but they had butcher knives, a smart person would not go home and arm themselves with a butcher knife and then go back. Smart person wouldn't do that. Who has a child and one on the way wouldn't do that. I'm done with this case. It's no lawsuit here. Goodbye.
Oh, you gotta excuse me. Step out.
You shouldn't be 33 years old trying to fight an 18-year-old, you know what I'm saying?
If an 18-year-old hits you, are you gonna let him keep hitting you, or are you gonna fight back?
And no matter what, you shouldn't walk in nobody's crib.
The perfect solution would have been me getting paid for my screen door, then I would have let it die. But
it's about respect, right? Because I wouldn't, me knowing my little brothers won't walk in his crib and just open the door.
Now I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Y'all might be seeing me back in court or somewhere in jail or something.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about respect, that's it.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Chapman versus Reset Covarrubias. Step forward.
Diane Chapman and her daughters, Sarah and Brandy, are suing their former landlord, David Reset, and his wife, Eleanor Covarrubias, for meter fraud, a false restraining order, and harassment.
I'm going to make this case very simple, although you folks have tried to make it far more complicated. You rented a property from the defendant.
Yes.
And you rented that property for how long?
The lease was 1 year.
And did you stay for the full year?
Yes, I did.
All right, and now that the year is up, you're complaining that while you were living there, the electricity bill that you were paying covered more than just your property. It covered property that was used in part by the defendant as a workshop and another rental property.
There was a trailer there.
A trailer. So there's only 1 meter, and you were getting the bill for that meter.
Yes, I was.
Now, the defendant doesn't seem to deny the fact that there was only one. That was explained to you, and the rent was reduced by $50 in consideration of that use by him in his shed and by the other people in the trailer of any electricity. Is that your defense, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you have a written lease?
Yes, we do.
Well, I'd like to take a look at it because that'll make it very, very simple, because that piece would have to be in the written lease, that $50 is being deducted because the 1 meter covers more than just the plaintiff's property.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There was a door in the washroom that belonged to a customer of mine.
A door?
Yes.
How do you know that they took that door?
After they have left, I was checking my cameras, and on the camera was a photo of the daughter's boyfriend carrying a door.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Diane Chapman says her former landlord, David Reset, owes for meter fraud, a false restraining order, and harassment. David is countersuing for property damage, stolen property, and harassment.
Now, do you want to point it out to me where you wrote in the lease that you were discounting the lease? I don't see it anywhere here.
There was another agreement.
Oh, then I'll take a look at that if it was written.
You're kidding me.
There was never another agreement after.
No, it was a verbal agreement.
You can't tell me what it was, sir. And it can't be a verbal agreement modifying the terms of the lease.
I believe it's in the other paperwork that I did not bring with me, Your Honor.
Okay, fine. Now, if what you say is that you were giving them a credit of $50 a month on the electricity and they were there for 1 year, that means you owe them $600 for electricity. Now, I'm not entertaining anything else about your alleged harassment by him of dumping cat's food over or your dog's food over. It's nonsense. If you don't like a place, you move out. You're entitled to $600, and $600 is for the electricity. Unless you can prove to me, and I don't see how you can, that the amount owed for electricity is more than $600. Do you have any proof that the electricity is...
I have a bill, the bill, but the case is mainly because he filed a restraining order against my daughter and would not let her come on the property from the very beginning day, and they forged the lease and took my daughter's name off the lease after we signed it. You can see where the lease has been whited out with their names.
Listen to me. Then don't stay. You don't wait until after you move out and have all kinds of complaints. To know from you is your main complaint in your answer was not about the plaintiff, but about her daughter and her daughter's conduct and the boyfriend's conduct around the house. That was your main complaint.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not entertaining your counterclaim with regard to harassment either. They're gone from the property. But what I do want to know is, what property do you allege that they took from the house that didn't belong to them?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, what property do you allege that they took from the house that didn't belong to them?
Well, Your Honor, there was a door in the washroom that belonged to a customer of mine.
A door?
Yes.
What kind of...
A pre-hung door for an interior door.
And it belonged to somebody else?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a handyman by trade, and I keep materials on the property for jobs that I'm getting ready to do.
Oh, so there was a door that was not hanging up. It was just there.
Correct.
And how do you know that they took that door?
After they have left and gone, I was checking my cameras. That would be October 4th, 2014. I was checking my cameras, and on the camera was a photo.
Saw this in October of 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not interested in it. We're now in 2016. The reason she says she didn't file anything with regard to the meter was because she said she had to wait in order to get something from the local government before she could file with regard to the meter. That's an excuse for not filing in 2 years. So, judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $600. Are we finished? Good. Thank you.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He was a bully, and he's getting by with it.
It was a good tentative beginning.
He called the police on us. He would not let my daughter come